Hey everyone, Mike McClary here, along with Dan Ashburn. Want to welcome you to today's webinar, 4 ways to build passive income and also achieve financial freedom. Last year during the COVID pandemic, it hit the entire world here in the US, all over the place. And a lot of people were forced to make changes to their lives, both lifestyle changes, business, career changes, health changes. I'm betting pretty much anyone on this webinar right now had to make some type of change in your life. Could be from working from home, getting in shape, maybe getting a pet, as so many people did, making a career change, all kinds of stuff. And a lot of people in the US, a decent number you'll see here, were able to take advantage of everything going on because in the US alone, 2.3 million people became new millionaires last year. And the driving force why during this pandemic they were able to do that is because an incredible 44% growth in e-commerce took place last year during a pandemic, during lockdowns, shutdowns, while traditional businesses were struggling to stay afloat. And during some of the most difficult times in their entire life, 2.4 million people became millionaires, or 2.3 million became millionaires in the United States alone. Doesn't take into account how many people across the entire world became millionaires during this pandemic. Now, not only was I able to kind of keep up to date on this by seeing it on TV, reading it in the news, I've been incredibly fortunate because I've been able to see it happening personally in real life. The people here on the screen, I know every single one of them, and we've been fortunate enough to help them achieve their goals and get to where they want to be. And most of the people on the screen here probably got their start watching a webinar like this, watching a video, or getting training like this. And so it's been an incredible journey for us here at Amazing to see so many people that we've come in touch with be able to completely change their lives, even when there's this huge downturn in the entire world's economy. Because we're involved in e-commerce, we're seeing all the people who do that type of business along with us see explosive growth in their business as well. Now, if you're on this webinar for the first time, probably the big question that you want to know, other than how they do it, is it too late for you? I know it always feels like when you hear about other people's success, it feels like I missed the boat. That I can't get into this now because they all have a head start on me, and it's too late for me to get going. I can tell you the answer is absolutely no. It is not too late. The U.S. economy is still growing faster than ever. Not was growing, not will be growing, is still growing at its fastest pace in over 35 years, and that pace is not slowing down right now. By next year, at the end of 2022. We expect that the US economy will have its first $1 trillion e-commerce year ever. And a lot of that is because of the changes that have been made permanent in the world, all due to the COVID pandemic. Now, even though $1 trillion is a huge amount of money, that's only e-commerce, and e-commerce only makes up 15% of all of retail. So that tells me that the opportunity is not only growing when you look at the growth of e-commerce, but the fact that it's still just a small portion of the percent of all of retail sales. There's still even more room to grow in this space here for e-commerce. Now, I made my own changes several years back about when I heard about the opportunity coming up with e-commerce. I was, typical person that I graduated high school, went to a state university. You can see University of Illinois, which is only about 3 hours away from right there. That's where I went to school. I ended up getting a regular corporate job at a place called Charter Communications, now Spectrum, got married, had 2 kids, even had the 2 chocolate Labradors that you see there. And I, by my parents' standard, I pretty much felt like I made it. They were really happy that I had this like corporate job, but really at the end of the day, from all the work that I was putting in, the hours, the drive, the traffic, the stress, all I really had was a job. And again, it was something filled with stress. Lost a lot of hair, made a lot of my existing hairs turn gray, had a lot of wrinkles come on my face of this, because all that time and stress at the job kept me from the one thing that's most important to me, and that was my family. Luckily, though, it wasn't long after that I watched a video very similar to this, learned about e-commerce, this growing trend of creating and selling products, and it completely changed my life. Because after taking that training, it was just a few months later, on May 30th, 2013, that I made my very first sale ever of selling my own product. And not long after that, I was able to turn in my resignation notice on 3/3/2014, and then actually quit a month after that, all within 1 year of creating my very first business in e-commerce. And since that time, it's been kind of a crazy ride for me. Sold over $15 million in products, Actually sold $250,000 in a single day, and I did that twice, selling some of my products on Amazon. I've been able to speak in front of 13,000 different people. I've been able to share the stage with Richard Branson, Robert Kiyosaki, Dave Asprey, lots of other people as well. I was able to co-host a webinar with Amazon themselves, helping our members who we trained expand their businesses into Amazon Europe. I've been able to travel some really incredible places that I never would have visited, both personally and professionally, with my family, with brand new friends. And I've helped over 35,000 people change their lives by creating businesses similar to what we created here. Today, I, myself, and Dan, we're here to help as many people on this training session as possible change their lives also. Now, keep in mind that everything we're going to show you, like the people's names we show you, the results we're showing you, they're from real students that we've worked with. Dan and I both run multiple e-commerce businesses. We fully believe in what we're doing and what we're teaching people, but with any business, there absolutely comes some risk. No guarantee that you will make money if we're able to create the business we're going to show you to do. But if you are able to do that, you could become one of the thousands of everyday people, just like I was and still am, able to change their lives completely for the future. So here's what we're going to get into in the training. You're going to learn the 4 different e-commerce business models and how they operate. We're going to show you the pros and cons of each one as well. And then we're going to show you which model we feel is the best for generating long-lasting wealth. Now, you already met him a little bit before here, but I want to introduce Dan Ashburn to you. He was able to build a $2.5 million per month business at the age of 20, which is crazy. I met him at one of our live events. I got to know him, great guy, one of the smartest guys I know in this space. Runs and operates multiple businesses. I don't think he ever sleeps because he's so productive to get all this stuff done. He manages for other clients millions of dollars in retail sales, and he's the leader of a private invite-only mastermind. And he is our go-to launch and scale expert in the entire e-commerce space. So welcome to the call again, Dan.
Thanks, Mike, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and just get the technology moved over here. So Mike, if you just stop sharing and then I'll take on the screen.
Alrighty.
And we're going to spend the next hour or so really diving deep into everything e-commerce and then really understanding what the different models are in this business. So if I go ahead and click share, you should see something on my screen that says the rise of e-commerce. Can you give me a yes in the chat box if you're seeing that and that's coming through loud and clear? So Raheem saying yes, Miles saying yes. I see a number of people saying, are you live? Yes, we are live. That's a question we get nowadays, but we're absolutely live and we're taking this next hour or so to show you what we've learned and show you which business models are the best to be going into in the current era that is the golden era of e-commerce. So I'm going to go ahead and actually turn my camera off. I'm going to leave my microphone on so you can focus on everything we're about to go through. And then I'll jump back on at the end as we go through live Q&A with Mike and myself. So, okay, guys, as you can see, we're in the golden era of e-commerce. And you can see there is a massive, massive opportunity when it comes to e-commerce. And you've likely even done some research on different types of businesses, but maybe you're confused about which model is right for you. Can you give me a number 2 in the chat box if this is you? Let me know if you've done a load of research on e-commerce, you know that e-commerce is growing, but you're not quite sure which business is right for you, which model you should start. You've heard about all these different types. Yep, seeing lots of number 2s there. Thank you for that feedback and got a yes, yes from someone there as well. So, well, as you may already know, there are 4 main different types of e-commerce business models. The first one is drop shipping. The second, retail arbitrage. Third, wholesaling. And fourth, private label, commonly referred to as Amazon FBA. These should be somewhat familiar to you if you've done any research at all within e-commerce. And these are the main 4 business models that we're going to be exploring here today. Now, some of you on this webinar may not even know about e-commerce. Maybe you saw an ad or you received an email and you've turned up live today to hear more about what this is and what e-commerce is. But since COVID has hit, you may have found yourself thinking, stuff like it's going to be at least 20 years until you can retire. Maybe you're thinking that you won't have enough money for a comfortable retirement when that time comes. I know that's a big concern for a lot of people. You're dreading going back to work in the office, maybe. So as people clean up from COVID and offices start to reopen, maybe you're dreading that environment, that 9 to 5 environment, and going back. Or maybe COVID has made you realize that you want to travel, you want to see the world, and you want to do that on your own schedule. You might be totally bored in your current job and know you're destined for more. We definitely hear that a lot too. Or maybe you just want to provide more for your family, whatever that means, your loved ones around you. And you want to make a passive income outside of your job to maybe just enjoy life a bit more. Give me a number 3 in the chat box and let me know. Just say yes, just give me some feedback in the chat box if any of these really are relevant to where your head's at right now, because that'll really help me dissect the different business models for you and help you sort of navigate the decisions you have in front of you. So I'm getting lots of 3s there. I've got people saying it does. 3, they resonate with me. Travel and think. Most of them are true. Most of them passive income from Alfred, absolutely. And when we talk about passive income, we specifically mean not trading time for money, which is the trap that 99% of the population find themselves in. Now, no matter where you're at, whether you're well aware of e-commerce and you've been researching the different models, or you've been having these thoughts and you know there must be something out there to overcome them, thinking will not overcome that fear. The only thing that will overcome that fear is taking action. And as the quote says here from W. Clement Stone, thinking will not overcome fear, but action will. But not all action is equal. You have to take the right action to deliver the life that you want. And it took me a number of years to really understand what that meant. Like, what action should I be taking to achieve the lifestyle and deliver that environment and really design my life with intention, which is everything that I live for and everything I stand for. Now, that action that took me a few years to realize is to create a business that produces passive income and sets you up financially for life. And again, by passive, I mean you're not trading your time for money. You're not sat there earning for the time that you're putting in. You're earning from the effort you've put in, regardless of the time you've spent working. So that's all good and well. And you might be thinking, that's all good, Dan, but how do I do that? The easiest way to make money is to ride a massive wave that's already moving. This is one thing I've learned in my career. I've been in business and building businesses for about 10 years now. And I've achieved a level of success. And I found every time that I've found a new level of success, I find that success by riding a wave that's already moving. And when you do this, your success will be far easier. And that wave is the unstoppable e-commerce wave that's currently happening. That wave is on track to hit $1 trillion in the US in 2022. 1 trillion with a T. That's $1,000 billion will be spent via e-commerce in the US in 2022. So let's talk about the different types of e-commerce businesses, because there are lots of ways you can start an e-commerce business and they're all completely different. Imagine trying to make money today selling typewriters. You could be the smartest, hardest working, most positive person, and you would still fail at that business of trying to sell typewriters. Now, a very smart man, Mr. Warren Buffett, arguably one of the leading investors in the world, once said, when a management team with a reputation for brilliance tackles a business with a reputation for poor fundamental economics, it is the reputation of the business that remains intact. Now, it took me a second to really understand what Warren meant by this. But in simpler terms, this means a bad business is a bad business. But conversely, you can be inexperienced and still succeed if you get into a good business. So this means you don't need to be a professional to succeed in e-commerce, because e-commerce is a good business and a massive wave that is growing. So you really can be successful even if you're not experienced in a good business. So before we jump in, let's take a quick look at the growth of e-commerce over time. You can see that e-commerce has been growing year on year for a decade, over 10 years already. but in the last year has exploded due to COVID. Now, many institutes estimate that e-commerce growth has accelerated 5 to 8 years in a single year, and there is no sign of it slowing down. And if you think about it, consumer buying habits have changed forever. People that I never thought would shop online, my nan, for instance, my grandma, for instance, is shopping on Amazon. And that's something I never thought I would see. But because the pandemic and all the restraints that have been brought in the last 18 months in the world because of COVID, it's forced consumers to shop online. And those that were just used to going down to the local high streets and retailers are used to doing that, were forced to go online and therefore have found a new habit in their shopping behavior. Now, as Mike said, you might be thinking, is it too late for me? And we're here to say, absolutely not. We are witnessing the e-commerce boom, and those who get in now are going to be the ones that prosper unlike ever before. Some of you may have been around for sort of the dot-com boom in when the millennium turned and everyone was coming online, and witnessed all those stories of all those companies making all that money when the internet kind of became mainstream. I remember I was a young lad and I was helping out in my dad's factory, helping him with his IT and converting his computers and stuff. We are in the same boom again, but that new era is e-commerce. Now, in fact, worldwide, e-commerce will approach $5 trillion this year. $5 trillion will be spent worldwide on e-commerce. And by 2040, it's predicted by the New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, that 95% of all purchases are expected to be via e-commerce. As you can see, based on current trends, it's not only is nearly all commerce likely to move online in the next 20 years, but there are also strong reasons to believe that much of this online commerce will take place through mobile devices. This just gives you an indication of where we're going as a population, as a race. Mankind is moving in this direction. So what do we mean when we say e-commerce? Now, e-commerce technically refers to selling anything online, but when we say it, we're talking about selling physical products online. Here's a screenshot of the revenue generated by Matt Clark, who's the founder of Amazing.com, works alongside myself, Mike, Rich. This is Matt's e-commerce brand. And as you can see just from the video graphic here, it's grown from a few $1,000s per month back in 2019. See at the start there, it was about $16,000 in January. And for anyone who knows about e-commerce, this is a Shopify website, to over $2 million per month in March. You can see it did $2,033,000 in the month of March this year in 2021. Just outstanding growth over the course of a couple of years. And if you think that's sort of a one-off, here's some revenue reports from a number of my accounts on Amazon that we're involved in with my company. You can see, looking at the screenshot here on the screen, if you look at where it says date, you can see there, looking at the last month period, and this screenshot was taken yesterday, the 20th of April, 2021, $388,000 generated on one Amazon account. Or another one here, $162,000, $345,000, and $204,000 generated in a single month by selling some products on Amazon. So when we talk about the e-commerce models, there are four main e-commerce models. And in this next part of the training, we're going to discuss the pros and the cons of each one. Does that sound good to you? Drop a yes in the chat box and let me know that you're ready to go, you're in, and you want to understand those pros and cons. We've got Michael saying yes, Faye saying yes, Kim, Alfred, David. Wow, that's moving quickly. Robert, Liz, Susan, James, Judy, Todd, thank you for that feedback. Let's get going. So as we know, there are four types of business model within the e-commerce space. We have drop shipping, we have retail arbitrage, we have wholesaling, and we have private label, also known as Amazon FBA. And you've likely spent some time looking through these. Now, the important thing to note is all of these can leverage the biggest online shopping place of them all, and that is Amazon. Amazon is the e-commerce giant in the market, and accounts for 39% of all e-commerce sales in the US in 2020. 39%. Who here shops on Amazon? Type Amazon in the chat box and let me know if you're one of these people that's making this immense platform dominate, and everyone's saying, yes, Amazon, absolutely. 39% of all retail in the US, all e-commerce retail is done on Amazon, followed by Walmart, eBay, Apple, but you can see the percentage difference there. Amazon winning by a long mile. Now this number, 200 million, you are not alone. You're one of 200 million people that are Prime members on Amazon, and they're shopping on Amazon every single month. You see, it's not enough to just think of something to sell and build your own website. You need people to come visit your site and then convince them that you're trustworthy and to buy from you. It's kind of like this guy here fishing. Just because you opened your website doesn't mean you're going to capture customers. However, when you sell your products on Amazon, you're selling in a pool of 200 million customers who already trust the website. And all you simply need to do is get your products to show up on Amazon. So let's dive in and have a look at the different business models. And this is where you want to start taking some notes and making notes of the pros and cons so you can make a judgment on what you believe is the best model. So first off is drop shipping. Drop shipping is a fulfillment method that doesn't require a business, so you, to keep the products in stock. So you don't have to buy any stock or any products up front. Instead, you sell the product and then you pass the sale to a third-party supplier who then ships it to the customer. Essentially, you're a front-end salesperson selling a product and then having your supplier ship it directly to your customer. Now, this does have cons. There's no upfront investment, which means it's really easy to get going and to enter this business model. But as a result, because you're the middleman, it's very low profit margins in the products you're selling. So you have to sell a lot of them to make any decent money. It is low risk because you're not having to invest all that money up front and you're not having to invest too much time in establishing that business. But you are selling the same products as everyone else, the exact same products. And the challenge with this is it can generate a price war and it just becomes a race to the bottom. And then as the prices reduce, your margins get even lower and no one makes any money. But it does allow you to tap into the e-commerce opportunity and quickly get started in generating profit and starting to generate that passive income. But you're not building a valuable brand asset that's potentially worth millions of dollars in just a few years. So as we go through this and look at these different types of business model, I really want you to weigh up the pros and cons and how that affects you in the short term, but also what you're working towards in 1 to 3 years, 3 to 5 years, 10 years onwards, and just picture yourself and try and understand, like, okay, right now, quit my job. 5 years from now, where do you want to be? 10 years from now, where do you want to be? And then balance that against these pros and these cons that are on the screen in front of you to understand which one you believe would be right for you. So the next type of model, and with drop shipping as well, you're not eligible for Amazon Prime. We all know what Amazon Prime is. You get the next day shipping or it ships within 48 hours. When drop shipping, you're not eligible for Amazon Prime, which is a big detriment when selling on Amazon because you don't have that Prime status. The second business model within e-commerce is commonly referred to as retail arbitrage. Now, unless you've done any detailed research on e-commerce, you might not have heard of this model. And effectively, retail arbitrage is the act of buying products from one retailer and then reselling them. So like walking into Walmart, getting a product at a discount, and then selling it on eBay, and then you make money on the difference. Those practicing retail arbitrage typically will buy products in bulk from Home Bargains or Toys R Us before it went bust. I know was a popular one. And the great thing about retail arbitrage is it is low cost to get started because you only have to buy 1 or 2 units and then you sell those 1 or 2 units and make a small profit. But it's lots of work and it's not scalable. You're still trading that time for money because you're spending your personal time going around stores, looking for good discounts, working out how much that costs online and seeing if there's any profit to be made. And there's very limited upside because when you're not doing that, you're not making any money and you don't own anything. So you're not actually generating an asset and any wealth. Positive thing, a pro for this business is you get to make money online. I have friends that have started in this business. It's allowed them to get started, make some profit, and had fun with it as well, going around all the different shops and understanding the discounts they can acquire. But there is a risk of getting stuck with inventory that doesn't sell. Maybe you pick up some type of product that's popular right now, but then within a week, a new thing comes out and all of a sudden you're stuck with that product because it's a big brand and they've moved on or they've dropped the prices and you're no longer in that sort of position of being able to make a profit on that product. But as with drop shipping, retail arbitrage is relatively low risk. Yes, you're investing in a few units of inventory up front, but you're not investing in lots of inventory where you're going to be too exposed on that. But again, you're not building a valuable brand asset worth millions of dollars if you ever want to cash out and go on to a new stage of life. The third model is wholesaling. So wholesaling essentially is selling goods in large quantities at low prices to be sold at a profit with the rights to distribute. So when wholesaling, there's a couple of different ways of going about it, but typically you will work with a brand to become their distributor and then aim to distribute that product on Amazon. So you might work with a certain gardening brand and say, hey, I want to be your distributor. I will buy in bulk. And then you would take that bulk inventory that you've purchased, you get it at a trade price, and then you sell it at a retail price. Or you just be the middleman and do bigger deals with the product. The good thing about this is you are inheriting pre-built brand recognition. That product and that brand that you're essentially a distributor for has already established its credibility in the market if you pick a good product and a good brand, and that can definitely help. But you do have to get approved, and often there is an approval process that you have to go through, and often distributors have certain exclusivity over certain channels such as Amazon or eBay, or certain regions such as Europe or the US. It is usually relatively low startup costs because you can normally get credit terms and work with the supplier to give you inventory on hand. And similar to the drop shipping method, you can typically get the orders placed and then pull the inventory across. But because you are the middle person, the margins are typically very low. In traditional trade wholesaling, typically 10-15% is kind of the margin that you're aiming for there. Now, speed to market is a very good and quick thing with wholesaling. Brands already established, products are already produced. You're essentially becoming a representative and a salesperson for those products. Everything is absolutely ready to go, and that's definitely a benefit of this model. But you don't have any control of sales channels or pricing. I've seen it, and I've actually been involved in a consulting way in helping some of these brands take channels away from their distributors, specifically Amazon. A lot of these brands want to take Amazon as their own channel because they see the volume there and understand that going direct to the consumer is a better model for them. So one day you could be selling really well, and then the next day you lose the rights to do that, and you have no control over the price either, which really again controls your profit margins being very, very thin. Now, the fourth model is private label, commonly referred to as Amazon FBA. Now, this is a private label product. So what you do is you go ahead and create your own brand. You have that product manufactured by a third-party manufacturer, and then you sell it under your own brand name. A pro for this one is you own the brand and all of the upside in the asset that you're building. These brands are worth millions of dollars, but it does require upfront investment in inventory, and typically that's at least $2,000, ideally $5,000 to get started. So there is a bigger upfront investment to get going. It's much higher profit because you control the pricing, because you own 100% of the sales and own 100% of the rights to that brand. And also when selling on Amazon, You're not competing for that sale on Amazon because you own that brand, you own that Amazon listing, meaning you own 100% of those sales. When selling other people's products and other brands, you're essentially competing for what's known as the buy box on Amazon. And you only get a small percentage of the sales generated because there's another 10 people like you selling on Amazon. Now, a con of this model is you have to find and work with suppliers. Typically, that's going to be in China for most products. And you have to build that relationship and really sort of develop that product and understand that process. But you do own all of the sales, as I said. You're not competing on Amazon for the buy box. But it does take a few months to get up and running. Whereas drop shipping and wholesaling and retail arbitrage, you can literally start tomorrow. This business model does take a couple of months to get up and running, as you have to develop the products, find that supplier, and have those products shipped over from somewhere like China into the United States. However, it's very, very scalable, and you can automate it with Amazon's fulfillment service. Who here, drop me in the chat box, who here has seen the massive Amazon warehouses? Maybe you've got one in your state, or maybe one by you. These humongous warehouses that Amazon have. Yeah, so we've got Michael saying me, Kim saying me, Shasi, Tamela, Raj saying me, Davis, absolutely. These warehouses that you see are storing products on behalf of Amazon FBA retailers. So what happens is you send the product to them and they're storing. Trevor say, I work at one. Trevor, that'd be an interesting conversation. So yeah, it's very scalable, and you can almost automate it with Amazon because they do a lot of that for you. And you have full control over the pricing, the channel, the listing, because you own that 100%. So with all of that, there's the pros and cons of the four models. You may be thinking, which one wins? Can you type in the chat box and let me know, based on the four models we went through, the pros and cons, and then your own personal goals, which one do you think makes the most sense for you and where you want to be? So we've got Amazon FBA, private labeling, FBA, got to be FBA, FBA no inventory, seems that FBA doesn't wins, FBA all day, FBA, yeah, okay, private labeling, one wholesaling. You guys are definitely on the right track. See, we believe one of these models is far better than all the rest. And many people within our sort of e-commerce community have succeeded with no experience whatsoever in this model. We've been doing this a very long time, and we know which one is the winner by a long mile, but I don't want you to just sort of take my word for it. Here are some of our communities sharing their feedback after they had the same realization. We've got Anna saying, going on vacation out of the country twice a year is not something I need to think about now. People still cannot believe that I was able to accomplish in such a short amount of period of time, totally on the side with just a few hours to spare. Or we've got RP saying, the holiday season was excellent for me. I was able to generate 50,000 in sales in December while working 1 to 2 hours a week at most. We've got George saying, look, to anyone who is on the fence about selling on Amazon, I say absolutely go for it. I've already exceeded my expectations about what I thought I could learn and I thought I could do. We've got Tamar saying, the past week was incredible. We even raised the price by $1 and we sold 250 units of our second inventory order just like that. I feel like we cracked the code to success here, and if I could do it, so can everyone else. Or Paul that says, and Paul's a good friend of mine now, I've been selling for just under 11 months now and have 6 products. My monthly revenue is 86,000 with an overall bottom line profit of 13,000. I am more motivated and passionate about what I do now. It doesn't feel like work. Or Channing saying, I've made more money in a single month than I used to make in a year. Or Tatiana saying, I was able to quit my job I did not enjoy doing, and I didn't finish school because I don't have to now. My business is just flourishing. Or Kenny said, I gave it a shot and within 3 months, I was able to quit my 9 to 5. This is the realization that we had a long time ago, and we've been able to help others have when you go with Amazon FBA and private labeling. That's the power of combining private label with Amazon FBA. Combining private label products, which is your own brand, with Amazon FBA, who does all the fulfillment for you, is by far the highest ROI for both time, money, and effort. And not only that, it's the most sustainable, the most scalable, and delivers the highest profit for you and has the most upside. The same amount of work, or even less work in most cases, to be honest, produces higher profit in the short term and then potentially millions of dollars 2 to 3 years from now. Wall Street, and this article was published all over the internet on Bloomberg, Yahoo Finance this year. February 9th this year, this article was published. Wall Street is currently investing billions of dollars into scaling tiny mom and pop sellers on Amazon because they're seeing the return that these businesses generate by combining the power and the profit margin and the control of private label and then taking it to 200 million customers that shop on the Amazon platform every single month. As Channing says here, she was able to generate $500,000 in a single month and said, I've made more money in a single month than I used to make in a year. Now, Channing and Justin are now very close friends of ours. And in fact, I can tell you that they sold their business in December of 2020 for multiple millions of dollars after running the business for just 3 or 4 years. We've got Jamie Harris here, who last year, in the height of the pandemic, just as COVID was hitting, and this wasn't a COVID-related product, this was a standard home and kitchen product, was able to generate $1 million in a single month. And you can see Jamie there celebrating with his daughter with those balloons. Or Anna Silva, who recently was able to exit her brand again for millions of dollars from running this brand at home with her husband. And now I know Anna's starting again, and she's even brought her son into the business. Or Michelle Benton, who said, I sold my business for a multi-7-figure amount. It is ideal for anyone who wants to escape the 9-to-5 rat race and dreams of running their own business. Well, here are David and Leah Cups, a young couple who sold their business for well over 7 figures, and 7 figures is $1 million. And while most of our members start with sort of 1,000 to 2,500 inventory, these guys started with $500. So if you want to know what's possible in the business, especially in this webinar, you only have to have a look at David and Leah and see what can happen. I think they're now onto their 3rd business. They've literally rinsed and repeated this process and just keep selling these things for millions of dollars. Or Devin and Katie DeRoche, who are the owners of Grillaholics. You can actually go on Amazon and have a look at this brand, Grillaholics. They were able to get onto the Inc. 5000 list, which is the list of the 5,000 fastest growing companies in the United States. And they placed 811th. For a 527% growth in their business, producing $2.7 million. And you can, after this, you can go ahead and have a look at that. Absolutely phenomenal growth that they're able to generate by combining private label with Amazon. So when you look at private label and Amazon, you might be thinking, well, who else has done this? Who here knows this brand, Anker? Give me a yes in the chat box if you've purchased an Anker product before. They do like phone batteries and cables and all that sort of stuff. I'm getting lots of yeses. A couple of people saying no, yes, yes. Anker is a company that got started following this exact same business model they learned about today. They focused 100% on selling their own brand of products on Amazon. There was no retail. They had no focus on their own website. They only focused on Amazon. They did so well that they went public and are on target to do over $1 billion in sales this year. $1 billion. And this is just a brand that started on Amazon, releasing cell phone accessories. To me, this just shows how powerful creating a brand and selling it on Amazon can be. The fact that many of you have actually purchased this product really goes to show the power of this combination. So when it comes to Amazon, your job is to find a product and then build your own brand that can grow. You want to turn that into a cash producing machine and eventually then sell it for a significant amount of money if you choose to do that. Now, in the next part of the business are your customers. So this is you at the top with your brand of products. The next part is your customers. Over 200 million of them shopping on Amazon every single month. You're going to learn how to find a supplier whose job it is to make the products and then send them into Amazon. So this is how the system works. You find the products, you've got your customers on Amazon, And then you work with a supplier, and I'll talk a little bit more about this in a second, who's going to send them into Amazon for you. And then it's Amazon who takes care of everything else. They receive and store your products. They collect payments from customers. They pick your products from their warehouse. They pack it and ship it in boxes. They ship those products to your customers. They handle all of the product returns. They handle most of the customer service. They pay you via direct deposit every 2 weeks or so, and they even run some advertising for you. Now, even though you'll be starting your business on Amazon, at any point in time in the future, you can then expand into other areas, other markets, your own website, because everything you've built for your products and your brand and your customers and your supplier will all be exactly the same. And this is a great business to expand in the future. But when starting on Amazon, you are literally responsible for creating your brand, researching your products, finding a supplier and shipping them into Amazon, and then Amazon takes care of everything else. So you may be thinking, well, that's great, but what do I do? Let's talk about that a little bit. Step one, you need to find a profitable product. We use a great tool called Zoof that gives us data when we're looking through Amazon. So you can see here, we search baby accessories, and Zoof tells us exactly how much revenue each product is generating every single month on Amazon. And there's lots of tools like this. Zoof is our preferred choice, and is the tool that we use with Google Chrome when looking through Amazon and looking for products. Now, once you've found a profitable product, ideally you want to see reviews sort of below 1,000, and you want to see a couple of results on the page with reviews below 1,000. It's then time to go ahead and see if you can source it and generate a profit. When sourcing, you're looking to generate at least 25% in profit margin after the cost of the product and Amazon's fees. And Amazon's fees are about 15%. And I'll show you how to calculate that here in a second. There's a fantastic website called Alibaba.com, full of all the suppliers, not just in China, all over the world, telling you exactly how much it would cost you to purchase products from their factory. So you can see here, I typed in silicone spatula, and you can see for this 3-piece set, this supplier here is telling us that we would pay anywhere from 45 cents to 75 cents a piece. And when you look through there, you can see they've been on Alibaba 5 years. They've been verified by the platform. They've got lots of reviews with a 4.9 rating. And you could go ahead and contact that factory and start having a conversation with them about sourcing that product and applying your logo, your brand onto that product and onto that packaging. Once you've done that, we then need to create a brand and create a listing on Amazon. So there's a website called Fiverr.com, Fiverr with 2 R's. Just type logo design or packaging design, and there's lots of designers on here for sort of $20, $30. You can get a really good looking logo created, ready for your brand. And you'll also want to check that the name that you choose for your brand doesn't have a current trademark on it. So go to Google, quickly search for the trademark database, and just make sure that you pick a name that doesn't have a trademark against it, because you don't want to come up against that in future. Once you've done that, you're then going to create a really good looking listing. So focusing on a really good main image, writing a title, and inside of the title, you want to include the search terms that customers are using. So you can see there at the top, silicone spatula kits and utensils. If that was something that you wanted to show up for, because we can see that people are searching for that, you would include that in your title and in your bullet points, focusing on producing really good quality listings, good quality images. And when writing this listing, making sure you're communicating the benefits of the product. Remember, when someone buys a drill, they're not buying a drill, they're buying a hole in the wall. Why is your product going to make their life easier in creating that hole in the wall? That's the type of mindset that you want to be in when writing these Amazon listings. Step 4 is then you have to launch it. So it's not enough just to put your products on Amazon. You do have to create some sales and start getting that product to show up in the search results for the keywords that you want to appear for. Now, there's 2 ways in which we do that. We create something called a cashback offer. And on the left-hand side here, you can see a post that Mike put out around these taco holders. It said, hey, everyone, I've decided to start a new brand and business, and I've launched my very own brand of products on Amazon. I'd really love for you to help me launch and test it. I'll even pay you for the order myself if you'd be willing to help me out. So what we're doing there is we're incentivizing people to come on, buy our products, and we're telling them, hey, I'll Venmo you the money back, I'll pay all the money back, and we're generating some sales velocity on our product. And as we start to generate more sales, Amazon's going to take more notice of our product, and our product's going to start increasing and improving up the ranks on Amazon, kind of like Google, and showing up on page 1 of Amazon. Another way we do that as well is we leverage Amazon's advertising system. So when you search Amazon, you may have noticed these listings that say sponsored. You can pay Amazon to show your listing up at the top of Amazon. And then every time someone clicks on your listing, you'll pay Amazon $1 or so for that click. And that cost is different depending on what the product is. And through the combination of generating sales velocity by putting promotions out and generating sales velocity through Amazon's advertising system, your products will slowly but surely start climbing up the ranks and start getting more visible. And as your product gets more visible, you generate more and more sales. Now, with that, the screenshot, we have tools available to help us do that as well. So we have this platform that we can put our products on, and we've got a whole marketplace of buyers ready to test our products and help us generate that sales velocity. And once you've got that visibility within your product, step 5 is to simply repeat and increase your profit. So Almas was saying there in the chat, is PPC what you're talking about, pay-per-click? Yes, absolutely, Almas. Amazon has its own version of that. So once we've launched and we've got visible, we then just repeat the process. So let's say that we launched this product here, which is actually a liner for a car seat, and we want to create a baby brand. Secondly, we might then launch these swaddle blankets as it serves the same audience, and we can start cross-selling our customers and upselling our customers. And then third, we might launch this, the baby wipe warmer. And as you can see, we're starting to really build out a nice brand of complementary products, a range of products that serve a specific audience. And that's a tip from me. Like when doing this, you really want to focus on creating a brand around an audience. So maybe you're into cycling or anything like that. That's the type of thing you want to create, because you're going to serve the same customer with multiple products, and those customers will come back, buy your future products, and some of them will buy 2 or 3 of your products in one go. Who here is familiar with the frequently bought together box on Amazon? So when you're shopping on Amazon, you see that frequently bought together box. So Deborah saying yes, Kim saying yes, Lorraine, Lucia, Charlotte, yeah, absolutely. So the aim of the game, you can get 3 products in there. And when you start selling and you mature into this business, you can actually own all 3 of those spots. And you watch your order values just increase, and that's how you start generating $200,000 or $300,000 a month in sales on Amazon. So you may be thinking, well, does this actually work? So last year we ran a very public test just to demonstrate the power of this stuff. We launched a set of taco holders. So the keyword we were targeting was taco holder, stainless steel, set of 4. And as you can see at the end here are the taco holders we launched, Verve Kitchen taco holders, set of 4. The first result here is an advert. So you can see it says sponsored. The second result's an advert. And then you've got position 1, position 2, and position 3. And we did that very quickly. We got into position 3 within about 2 weeks. Now, on this product, there is a tool on Amazon called the Amazon FBA calculator. You might want to write that down. Amazon FBA calculator. It's a quick Google search. You'll find that tool. So we were selling this tool here at 20. I'm just going to bring up my little pen and see, actually, let me see if I can bring up the pen. There you go. Cool. So we're selling this product here at $22 on Amazon. Amazon's fees, as you can see there, are about 15%, so $3.30. They then charge $5.42 for storing the product, for picking and packing and shipping the product when we generate an order. It costs us $1.60 to ship that product from China into Amazon, meaning our total fulfillment costs were about $7. If we then take out the cost of the product, so it cost us $5.57 for each one of these. So for a set of 4 with the nice packaging that we designed, it cost us $5.57. That means on every single unit, we generated $6 in profit, or 27%. And you might recall earlier, I said 25% is what the sort of minimum that you're aiming for. Any less than 25%, you're going to struggle to make any real money. So when doing this, you definitely want to be looking at a minimum of 25%. And we very quickly got to about 30 sales a day. So if we look at this and we're doing 30 sales a day, that's 900 units a month. So 900 units of our taco holders. That's a monthly revenue of $19,800 and a monthly profit based on these numbers of $5,463. Now, who here could see themselves moving towards quitting that 9 to 5, that passive income, with an extra $5,000 in their pocket a month? Yeah, Hope saying absolutely. Ali saying me. Daniela saying me. Chrissy saying me. Lucia, absolutely. It only takes 1 or 2 products and you're starting to generate some serious income passively from developing a brand, launching a product on Amazon, and working the numbers to generate a profit. That's an annual gross profit on a set of stainless steel taco holders that we launched on Amazon of $65,000. So with all this, what now? What now? You've learned this, you've learned these models, we've established the different types, and I think everyone agrees that the Amazon FBA plus the private label opportunity is by far the best model based on the profit margins, the sustainability, the scalability, and the value that you're creating over that 2 to 3 year period that you can then cash out for millions of dollars, just like lots of our friends have done. One of the brands that I'm involved in, we literally exited it last week and generated a nice sum of cash as well. And this is happening all over, with these big companies coming out of Wall Street, investing billions in doing so. We're just handing these brands off, generating these millions of dollars. You might be thinking, well, this is amazing. I want to dive in right now. What do I do now? Well, ultimately, you have 2 options. Option 1 is you do it yourself. You go and watch YouTube videos, you join Facebook groups, but potentially make a load of costly mistakes, waste your time, and get bad advice, to be honest, because there's so much bad advice on the internet about all this stuff. Or option 2, you let us help you and show you exactly how to build a successful Amazon FBA private label business step by step. You see, here's what we call the critical loop for success, from setting your goal to actually achieving it. Many of you told me you were here today because you have this goal of a better life, getting away from that 9 to 5, whatever that is for you. Now, to do that, you need a good, solid plan. Now, within that plan, you're inevitably going to make mistakes. We all do. We all make mistakes. But hopefully you will learn from those mistakes, persevere through those mistakes, update your plan, and continue round in that success loop. And if you work with us, we can help you make this so much better and so much faster. We can help you come up with a better plan. We can help you avoid mistakes because we've been there and done it. We can teach you what we've learned and hold you accountable to persevering so you actually go out there and achieve your goal. You are 95% more likely to achieve a goal if you hold yourself accountable to someone who's been there and done it before. So here's what I know it's going to take for you to be successful with this business. First off, you need a proven system to follow. You need a blueprint in this business. Too much changes. There's too many steps to try and figure everything out. You have to have a blueprint to follow. You need experts to get help from. People that have been there, done it, generated millions of dollars, and have been through every single step of the business and can just show you that shortcut. For anyone that follows Tony Robbins, you know the fastest way to achieve success is find someone that's been there and done what you want to achieve and do what they did. And that's what we're here to help you with. You also need a great environment for success. Who here has tried something and all the people around you have told you you'll never achieve that, you'll never do that, that's silly, should we just go to the pub? These are the types of circles that you find yourself in. And the old saying goes, you are the equal of the 5 people around you. Let's change that circle. Let's surround you with like-minded people who are success-driven, who've been there, who have done it, and can say, no, actually, you are going to achieve this and you're going to hit your goals. And then ultimately, you need that unfair advantage. We have unfair advantages. We have the right tools. We have the right resources that just make this so much easier and more effective for us because we know what works. Now, we've taken all of this and thought about every single possible thing that could go wrong. And we've put it inside of an online program that we call Amazing Selling Machine. Amazing Selling Machine is built to help you achieve the results that you want. Gain that financial security, never have to depend on a job again. Create a reliable source of income and wealth. Build a business that you're proud of. Save thousands of hours with a step-by-step program, no guesswork, no mistakes, no wasting time or money, just being told what to do. Giving you complete clarity and confidence in knowing exactly which buttons to click and what to do. But ultimately, create the life that you want far faster and easier today. Not tomorrow, not next month. I'm not going to start in 6 months. Right today, you can start creating the life that you've always wanted. And ultimately, what this comes down to for me and for Matt and for Mike and everyone who's involved in putting this together is creating freedom of choice. Yes, financial freedom is a great thing. Yes, location freedom is a great thing. But the combination of those two things ultimately is freedom of choice, freedom to live on your own terms, freedom to do what you want to do in life with whoever you want to do that with, your loved ones, your family, etc. Now, again, Warren Buffett, big fan of Warren Buffett. The best investment you can make is an investment in yourself. And that's the only way you're going to achieve the results that you want to achieve. Doing what you did to get to where you are today won't get you to where you want to be tomorrow. It's a true fact of life. It's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So here's the proof that I know that ASM is the answer for you to achieve that result. We've been doing this over 8 years, helping people like you succeed. Our students have done over $9 billion in total sales, and we know that number's a lot bigger. This is just what we could track. We've worked with some of the world's top business leaders, as Mike showed, Richard Branson, Robert Kiyosaki, Damon John from Shark Tank, Sarah Blakely from Spanx. All of them put their trust in our program because they see the impact we're having within our community and the amount of people that are becoming successful through this business model and us leading the way and showing them exactly how to do it. ASM has been featured on CNBC, Forbes, Success, Entrepreneur, Business Insider, The Rich Dad Poor Dad Show, and we have over 30,000 members. We're actually into 35,000 members at this point who are all on this journey, like-minded people, a community of like-minded people who are success-minded, driven, and have that fire in their belly to succeed, all sit within our community. Like George generating $25,000 a month, or another member here, $100,000 in a single month. All of this is possible, and it's now your turn. Amazing Selling Machine is created by 50 real experts and a whole team of people supporting it. So you've got myself, Mike, Rich, Matt, and many others that are in this business day in, day out, generating millions of dollars on Amazon with the private label business model, and a whole team of people behind us supporting you in your success, ensuring that you're on track. It's a full package of step-by-step training, resources, and direct support to make sure that you succeed. So let's talk about what's included with ASM. Do you want to just give me a yes in the chat box? Would you like to know what's included inside of ASM and exactly what is in the program and how we deliver it and what the price is, etc.? Yes, we're getting lots of yeses. Devin, yes, yes, yes. James, Richard, Mandy, Miriam, Tony, Judy. Awesome, guys. Thank you for that feedback. So with ASM, the first thing that's included is the online web class. This online web class, kind of think of it like Netflix. It's on demand. You can access it at your own pace, your own time, professionally built. Every step is laid out to really help you succeed. 160 lessons, 8 modules, over 50 hours of content, step by step there, telling you exactly what to do, one step after another. Now, this is really built to build your business step by step, anywhere, anytime. I personally have been moving around the world with my family, my young family, for the last few years, building these businesses. And I just love the independence. Rich, our chief mentor, literally moves from country to country post-COVID times, building this business. And many of our members are enjoying life, seeing the world, building this business. Well, you know what? They're getting to do the school run in the morning with their kids. They're getting to pick the kids up from school because they're not tied to a desk, sitting in traffic, commuting to an office. They're being able to do it on their own terms. Now, when you join ASM and the brand new version ASM Evolution, you get free updates for life. So no matter what changes on Amazon, and a lot of things do change, Amazon's constantly updating, the rules are constantly changing, marketing gets a bit more sophisticated, China changes. Don't worry, because we update the training and you get complete free updates for life. Now, module 1 is the rapid product selection. We're going to show you step by step how to find and how to pick a profitable product that's going to set you up for success on Amazon and generate these types of numbers. We've got technology now that makes this faster and easier than it's ever been before. Module 2 is about how to set up your Amazon account and set up your business and get set up for the future to be ready to sell. And with that as well, I'll go through this, but even if you're outside of the US, you can absolutely do this business and we will help you get that account open. Module 3 will show you how to find a supplier, and not just any supplier. You want a good quality supplier that's going to grow with you in the business, is going to support you in the business, has all the proper testing certification, and really ensures that you're building a good solid foundation for your business. And we're also going to show you how to create a really compelling brand that targets an audience and brings your range of products together. In module 4, we're going to set up all of the foundational items like a website and a Facebook page and an Instagram account to start building the foundation for the brand. And then in module 5, we're going to start launching that product. In module 6, we're looking into Amazon advertising. So we're getting that product live on Amazon. We're launching that product, and we're going to show you very quickly how to get that product to show up on page 1 of Amazon and start generating those sales. In literally 2 weeks to 4 weeks time, you can have that product showing up on Amazon, generating sales and starting to generate profit as you generate those sales as a result of being visible and showing up in the search results, which is really all the game is about. Now, module 7, we're going to show you some more advanced stuff on how to scale your profits, things that you can do on Amazon to continue to increase your sales based on millions of dollars in testing. Everything we know, everything we do in our own businesses, we show you how to do, shortcutting years of learning, years of mistakes, years of costly mistakes. We're going to show you in a very short amount of time, and we're just going to pass that knowledge down to you. And then module 8 is all about advanced traffic tactics. So how do we go and use other types of platforms to generate even more sales on Amazon within our brand, ultimately continuing to grow and scale the sales and generate more and more profit. Now, you might be wondering, why is this important? Well, firstly, we're going to show you how to reduce risk by choosing the right product to start with. Really important. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is choosing the wrong product. But how do you know what the wrong product is until you've made those mistakes? We're going to show you how to calculate the perfect amount of inventory to order so you don't overinvest and take on too much risk. We're also going to show you how to launch your product to page 1 of Amazon and get your brand discovered fast. It's all about that visibility and making sure that your product shows up on the first page, second page of Amazon when someone's searching for whatever you're selling, silicone spatula, taco holders. You want your product front and center. And we're then going to show you how to run this business from anywhere in the world. And we will show you how to automate a lot of it. You can automate kind of 70, 80% of this business. And then you just take care of making sure that your products stay in stock and developing new products, which actually is the fun bit, to be honest. And even starting outside of the US. Now, we strongly recommend starting on Amazon.com. It's where the most sales happen. It's where the most demand is. And where the most sales and demand are, it's easier to make money and make sales. And you can start this business inside the US, even if you're not living in the US. So I typically reside in the UK. I'm currently out in Dubai. And many of our members are across Asia, across Europe, enjoying the business that they have selling on Amazon.com in the US. So don't worry if you're not in the United States, you can absolutely start this business. And we have experts on our team who specialize in opening up Amazon accounts, even if you're not in the US. Now, number 2 is the ASM mentors. You do need a team in this business. We have over 21 real experts that between them on average do $1.8 million a year in the business. Here's a screenshot of just one of the mentors' accounts doing $3.3 million in a single year selling on Amazon. As you can see here, these mentors, Anna's one of our mentors, are here to help you break through obstacles, Get correct answers fast, save time, and ultimately avoid mistakes. There are going to be some mistakes that you come up against, and without that sort of guidance and support, how do you know you're about to make a mistake that could cost you a lot of money and a lot of time? Number 3 is the private members only resource community. It takes more than just tactics to be successful in this business. There's a lot of things that are constantly being tested, and you need a pack of people around you, a tribe, a community of people around you, like-minded people that are on the same journey as you, testing those same things and sharing those results with you. So we have the private members community. This is a members only community. And inside there, we have 35,000 members across 138 countries, which is over 5,874 weekly interactions. There's a lot going on in there, and you're going to find a complete new community that you integrate with who are like-minded and on the same journey. The community is really there to give you the motivation and the accountability to succeed and build out this business as you follow the training. You're going to learn the newest tactics and just really understand what's working now, all the nuances that come with building this business. The 4th thing you get included with ASM, and ASM Evolution is our latest version, is the private resource vault. There's over $10,000 worth of proven resources in here. These are the same suppliers, graphic designers, photographers, shipping companies that we all use in our own businesses. And once we've got a good relationship, we vetted them and we've tested them, we pass those relationships to you inside of that proven resource vault. So no having to search for those suppliers or those service providers and potentially working with a bad one that maybe takes your money and doesn't provide the service or makes mistakes or is just really not doing a great job. You can trust in the resource vault because everyone in there has been tested by ourselves and we can stand behind them delivering a good service. There's over 61 resources inside of the private resource vault that you can use to aggressively and quickly grow this business. Ultimately, it's going to save you time, money, and stress because you can just trust in the fact they're going to do a good job. Now, the 5th thing you get as part of ASM Evolution is the ASM software suite. Remember I said that we have unfair advantages. We have the tools, we have the resources that really allow us to get a sort of an edge when selling on Amazon. We're going to give you access to those same tools. There is a saying that data is power. Data is power, but unless you know how to leverage that data, it also is overwhelm. So we're going to reduce and remove all of that overwhelm by giving you access to a very specific set of tools. The first is Zoof's Product Opportunity Finder. This is the tool I highlighted earlier that shows you exactly how much revenue a product is selling on Amazon. And then combining it with the criteria that we will teach you inside of Module 1, you will know exactly which products to go after, exactly which ones are going to work, based on a very well-researched and tested formula that we have that we've been perfecting over the last 8 years. You're also going to get access to Product Analyzer, which once you've plugged all the numbers in, literally tells you which is the best opportunity. It tells you the profit margins, it tells you the return on investment, and it allows you to keep organized and build a pipeline of products that you plan to release. And it organizes and says, based on a number of different data points this thing checks, it checks hundreds of different data points on Amazon. It will tell you which is the best opportunity. We have the perfect keyword tool. So yes, people use different words to search Amazon, like taco holder stainless steel, baby blankets, but not all of those keywords are equal. In this tool, we track over 9 million keywords, over 9 million data points, and you plug in your product and we tell you exactly which keywords you should show up for, which keywords are generating the sales on Amazon. So instead of you spending thousands of dollars potentially on advertising, trying to figure out which keywords to target, our tool, the perfect keyword tool, will just tell you exactly which keyword to go after so you can cut out that time and learn from the data that we've already got. Now, finally, we have the rapid product launcher. So I talked about creating sales velocity and making your product show up on Amazon. One way is to go and do that with your Facebook friends and your feed and Facebook groups. We use Amazon's advertising, absolutely. Or you can access our private platform where you can publish your deal, publish your offer. And we have a list of thousands of Amazon shoppers who will go up and take you up on your offer and start generating that sales velocity straight away, getting your product to show up at the top of Amazon very, very quickly. Now, a brand new tool that we're really excited to talk about is the amazing category guide. We realize there are literally millions of products on Amazon, but we've whittled down over 34,000 products within this database, a private database that we've hand selected. And you get access to this and you can literally just click through. So you can see there it says arts and crafts and sewing, automotive, baby products, beauty, electronics. You can literally choose the category you're interested in selling in and look through the product opportunities combined with the Zoof product opportunity finder. You can find products very, very quickly that you can launch on Amazon and start generating sales. And within that, I don't have time to go through everything. There are another 16 other tools that you get access to as part of ASM. Who here thinks that having access to that database, having access to the launch platform, having access to the opportunity finder and the criteria that we show you would give you that unfair competitive advantage when it comes to building this business? Give me a yes in the chat box if you believe that's you. Robert saying yes, Derek saying yes, Lena, Todd, David, Kim, Davis. Awesome, guys. Absolutely. And this is why we succeed, because we've built these capabilities that allow us to stay ahead of the competition and generate more sales on Amazon. Now, the sixth thing you get is the results coaching program. When you join ASM, you will get a one-on-one onboarding call. You will then get weekly check-ins. When you're ready, a free product evaluation. So when you've chosen a few products, you're definitely going to come up against that decision point, that analysis paralysis that says, is this the right product? Should I launch this product? We understand, and we have a team of experts in place to help you make that decision and confirm that your product is good to go. At the point of creating your listing, we're also going to go ahead and review your listing and give you feedback on how you can improve that listing. And when it comes to launching, we're going to give you a one-on-one launch strategy session. This is something we've never done before, and we're going further than we ever have to ensure your success by giving you a one-on-one session with an expert seller who's going to walk through your launch plan and just make sure that you've got the right plan and you're in the right place for success. When you're selling, we're then going to have a look at your PPC advertising campaigns and do a full review, and again, point out areas for improvement to set you up for success and put you on the right track. Ultimately, you're going to get bigger, faster, and easier success because we are holding your hand through the entire process. So when you join ASM, when you become a member of ASM Evolution, you get access to the online web class, the ASM Mentor Program, community access, access to the private resource vault, and the software suite and results coaching program, all for accessing the community. Now, if we were to go ahead and put values against this, if we were to sort of spell out the online web class, the mentor program, the private community, the private resource vault, the automation tool suite, and the results coaching, if we were to put a value against them individually, the web class is valued at $4,997, almost $5,000. The mentor program, $3,497. The private community access, $1,997. The private resource vault, $1,497. The automation tool suite, $8,497. And the results coaching program, $5,685. That's a total value inside of the ASM Evolution program of $26,170. But when you join ASM Evolution today, you're not going to pay $26,170. You can join ASM Evolution for a payment of $4,997. Just $4,997 gives you everything you need to be successful in this business. Now, not only that, when you do join ASM Evolution, we give you a 100% money back guarantee for 30 days. This means that you can go in, watch through modules completely risk-free, watch through training completely risk-free, access the community, access the tools for a full 30 days. And for whatever reason, it's just not for you, that's totally okay. You email support@amazing.com, and Sonia and the team in the background will go ahead and issue a refund, a full refund for your investment, which means you can trial everything within the program for 30 days, completely risk-free, knowing that if it's not for you at the end of that period, you can go ahead and get 100% refund, no problems. But in addition to that, we also have the 2021 Success Agreement. And I want you to stick with me here because it's definitely worth your time. The 2021 Success Agreement essentially makes this business completely risk-free until December 2021, which means you've got until December of this year to go ahead and build this business, test everything within the community, execute everything we show you, watch all the training, and providing you implement everything we ask you to do, not only will we refund your ASM payments, but we will also buy back up to $5,000 in any unsold inventory. So as long as you follow the training, you stay accountable, you implement everything we ask you to implement, and we will check this, we'll check that you've done those steps. Providing you do all that within the timeline that we set, we will not only refund 100% of the payments, we will also buy back up to $5,000 in unsold inventory. No one has gone as far as us in ensuring your success and giving you all the confidence and sort of risk-free guarantee that you need to achieve success with this business. And that's our 2021 Success Agreement. So when you get started for just $997, you get access to the online web class, you get the ASM mentor access, you get access to the private community, you get access to the resource vault, the ASM tool suite that gives you a complete competitive advantage and unfair advantage, to be honest, and the results coaching program, as well as the success bonuses, which are the 30-day 100% money back guarantee, completely risk-free for 30 days. If you don't like it, just email support, we'll get that refund issued. In addition to that, we are that confident in your success that we've launched the 2021 Success Agreement, where you have until December of this year, 2021, to implement everything that we teach you within the timeline that we ask. And providing you do, we'll not only refund the program, we'll also buy back up to $5,000 in unsold inventory. We're giving you $1,000 off the public price, which you can spend on your inventory or towards advertising. It's towards helping you grow this business, and instant access to ASM Evolution. So if you know and understand that e-commerce is where you need to be, you see the opportunity, you see the massive wave, the surge that is growing in e-commerce, you know that you're destined for more, and you know you've been looking for something to create that future that you want to create, then we welcome and invite you to join ASM by going to asmnow.com/join, asmnow.com/join, and Mike will go ahead and post that in the chat box shortly. So go ahead and grab your spot at asmnow.com/join. And when you do, when you load up the page, even if you're just thinking about it, I actually want you to go ahead and load this so you can walk through it with me and understand what's included. Go to asmnow.com/join and sort of walk through this page with me. You'll see that we have a live webinar offer where you can save $1,000 on ASM Now and then start your dream business with the help of sort of your own $1 million team, essentially. That's what we are. That's what our mentors are and all of our support team. We've all been successful in this business and we're here to support you. You get the web class, you get the private community, over 180 hours of video training, performance checklist and profit calculators. You get personal one-on-one support from our mentor team. You get access to private resource vault, actionable worksheets and scripts, and priority access to industry events that we host. And all you need to do is go to asmnow.com/join, and you can get started for as little as $997. Now, in addition to that, if that wasn't enough, you've got the money back guarantee, monthly group coaching calls, which are actually running weekly at the moment, and also our automation tool suite that really does give you that unfair competitive advantage. So when you scroll down to the bottom of that order form and type in the chat box for me if you're following along, or put following if you're on this page. I want to know where you're at on this page. Type following for me in the chat box. So we've got loads of people saying following. Awesome, Kim. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Raheem. As you scroll down to the bottom, you're then going to see those payment options. Now, when this expires, and I'll talk about that here in a second, you are going to see that $1,000 discount disappear. you are going to see the 5-pay disappear, because this isn't something that we offer all the time, because we simply can't offer it to everyone, as ASM is extremely expensive to put together, and we simply wouldn't be able to afford to give this to everyone. But right now, because you took action, you're live on the training, you're live on the webinar, you get access to that $1,000 off. You get access to the 5-pay option with 1 free payment, meaning that you can get started for $997. So to access that, go to asmnow.com/join. So guys, on this webinar, we've covered your blueprint to financial freedom in 2021. We've covered the fact that e-commerce is growing at a crazy rate. We've covered that anyone who rides the wave now will enjoy success in the future. We've talked through the 4 different e-commerce business models and why private label and Amazon wins on every single point. We've discussed the steps to build out your own brand on Amazon, and we've given you the opportunity to join us inside of ASM to create that success. Amber joined. Welcome, Amber. And if you want to be like Amber or Jules or Miriam or Ashay or Jackie or Ali or Sadath or Lena, then go to asmnow.com/join, fill out the form, enter your payment details, and for just $997, you can get started today. You've got that 30-day money-back guarantee. You've got the success agreement that runs all the way through to December, and all you have to do is commit and be accountable and do the steps, and we've got you covered until December. You really are going to set yourself up for success. And if you have any of those niggles that I talked about from the start, something's been bothering you in your life, something's not going right, or you just want to change, or you're bored, whatever that is, e-commerce is the vehicle to get you there. It's not slowing down. This rocket ship is taking off, and those that get on board are going to seriously succeed. So get started for $997. Get access to the web class, the mentor access, the community, the resource vault, the tool suite, the results coaching, all the success bonuses, including that money back guarantee for 30 days, the 2021 success agreement through the end of the year, $1,000 off the public price. For those that join now, I want you to type action taker in the chat box. Let's move on from the word join. I want you to type action taker. Let me know that you're an action taker. Beverly is an action taker. Mariam is an action taker. Well done, guys. And jump in at asmnow.com/join. Now, with that, I really just want to close up here on what really is at stake. 3 products doing 30 units per day is $1 million per year. Just 3 products. Who here believes, based on everything they've seen here, that you could launch 3 products? Give me a yes in the chat box. Liz, action taker. Yes, Liz. So give me a yes in the chat box if you fully believe that you could launch 3 products just like we did with the taco holder. A simple set of taco holders. All you have to do over the next year is launch 3 products on Amazon, get to 30 units per day by using our launch tools and following our training, and you have $1 million business. Now, typically, an optimized business on Amazon will do anywhere from 25 to 30% in profit. That means you're earning anywhere from $250,000 to $300,000 a year in profit from simply launching 3 products on Amazon. But what if you only sold 10 units a day of those 3 products? That's still $6,000 to $7,000 a month in profit. Who here could go off and do what they want to do in life with 6 or 7 grand a month in passive income? Be honest. Give me a yes in the chat box or type me. Kendra saying me, Victoria saying me, Kim saying yes, Hope saying yes, Derek saying yes, Monica saying yes. Thank you for the feedback, guys. Absolutely. Trust me, you can live a fabulous life on 6 to 7 grand with no ties, location, or real responsibility by focusing on building a brand of products, using the power and the combination of Amazon and private label, and then ultimately 2 to 3 years from now, selling that asset for millions of dollars. Would 6,000 every single month give you freedom? Yes, we know it would. And I invite you to go ahead and do so, just like so many of our members here did. Jamie, $1 million in a month. Another member talking about, she never thought that making so much money could be so much fun. We've got lots and lots of testimonials, 21,000, 50,000 a month in sales from our members, another 50 grand there in sales from Jean Francis there. These go on and on and on. James here, Jane Watson, earning $100,000 in 30 days in revenue. We have thousands of members who have been successful in this business following the exact same training that you're about to embark on, the exact same journey with all of the support and the tools and the resources that we're giving you. And all you have to do is go to asmnow.com/join, commit, take that leap of faith, believe in yourself, know your future, know where you want to be, and join our community and just be like one of these guys, one of these girls here, and be one of our next success stories. So just to recap, for starting today for $997, you get access to the online web class, the ASM Mentor Access, the Private Community Vault, the Resource Vault, the ASM Tool Suite, the Results Coaching Program, and not to mention the success bonuses that really do put our full confidence behind your success. Full 30-day, 100% money-back guarantee, access to the 2021 Success Agreement, which means you can build this business until December of this year, and providing you do what you say you're going to do, we've got you. $1,000 off the public price and brand new access to ASM Evolution. And all you need to do is go to asmnow.com/join. And for those that are, type action taker in the chat box for me. Let me know you're the action taker. I want to see you. I want to recognize you. I want to welcome you to our family as we embark on this journey together.
For everyone watching the training, Dan just went on for an hour with some awesome content. Take away, the fact that, we absolutely want to make ASM, an amazing selling machine, available to as many people as possible. All the training leading up to the free training was awesome, something we never did before. So if you don't mind, drop a note here in the chat box, see if you like the training also, the free training that Dan gave, just to kind of show him thank you. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people are talking, Miriam, Georgia, Derek, Ali, Kim, awesome. Yeah, Dan always delivers. So Dan, take a quick break and I'll get to some questions. We've got a lot of great questions. Rich has been answering a ton in the background and then flagging some of them, not flagging in a bad way, but flagging those that we think really would be best to answer live. So I'll get into these. So Trevor is asking, can I apply these same techniques in the Canadian market? The answer is yes. Everything that we teach you inside of Amazing Selling Machine, even the training that Dan went over today about private labeling, you can apply in any Amazon marketplace, whether it's United States, Canada, Mexico, all over Europe, Australia now. It works in every market. However, with that in mind, we absolutely recommend that you start off selling only in the US market. This is because our experience, knowing what it takes to be a new seller, knowing where all the demand is at, knowing where Amazon releases a lot of their new features that they let sellers, I guess, test out, knowing the infrastructure set up for getting shipments in and spread out all throughout the United States. Starting out, no matter what country you live in, we recommend selling on Amazon.com first. And then once you've got your business built, your brand established, you can then explore expanding into other marketplaces. If you live in Canada, that'd be the natural next place to start selling. If you live in the UK or you live in Germany or Spain or France or any European country, I would expand over there. But still, start off in the United States. Just from our own experience, it's the best. And that's what we cover in the training as well. Maharaj asked, can you do this business in Europe, especially in the Eastern European market? Like I said, yes, you can do this in any Amazon marketplace. It works really well. But again, start off in the United States. Let's see. Saeed asked, can we do this business in the United States while living in Asia? The answer is yes. As a matter of fact, I'd say that's probably 55-60% of our members and sellers selling in the United States live in the United States. The rest, almost half, live outside of the United States and still sell in the United States. Most countries, I don't know what the percentage is, 95% of the countries in the world have no problem at all selling United States. There are a few restricted countries that you may have to go through a few extra hoops in order to start selling in the US from, but we go over that in detail inside of all of the training. So yes, you can live anywhere as long as you got an internet connection and a laptop and still sell in the United States. We go over that in the training. Let's see. Anonymous attendee, love that name, says, can I do this Amazon business only in my free side time? I need to manage the accounts and the products to Amazon. That takes time, correct? I think we have, in the next question, as a matter of fact, this is from Miriam, very similar. Miriam says, I'm a 26-year-old registered nurse. Do you think it's possible for me to start a business while being full-time? Absolutely. I was full time for an entire year when I started creating my business. And I was able to, usually I'd come home at night, I would work for an hour or so, have dinner with the family, then, hang out with the kids, and then go work for maybe another 30 minutes or an hour before going to bed. So just a couple hours a day was enough time for me to get the business going. And when you run it, it's about the same amount of time as well. As a matter of fact, once you have your product up and selling and running on Amazon, the business is less time consuming. The hardest part, not the hardest part, it is technically the hardest part out of everything is finding the product and launching the product. There's a lot of steps to go through. And we walk you through all those steps in detail. That's the time consuming part, getting your first product identified, your supplier identified, the product design, the packaging design, then shipped over to you, creating your listing. Those are the time consuming parts. Once your product's up and selling, then actually maintaining and managing business is a very little time commitment. But even getting up and going, you can absolutely, without a doubt, get it going in just an hour or two a day, like so many of us have done in the past. Let's see. Anonymous asks again, is Amazon FBA too saturated for sellers in 2021? We get this question every single year because if you listen to some e-commerce gurus out there, they're trying to scare you and tell you that it's too saturated. You can't be successful. Well, the answer is the market that we're selling in is growing faster than the number of sellers that are there to provide all the products out there. Now, is it more competitive than it used to be? Absolutely. People have realized that this is an incredible opportunity. So more people are coming aboard and selling. But the entire e-commerce marketplace and Amazon is exploding, and there's plenty of room for growth in order to build your own business right now in 2021 in this industry. And if you know the right ways to find a product, to source a product, to create your listing, to launch your product, you can beat all the other people out there who are just learning how to do this off of YouTube or trying to figure it out on their own. With us behind you and our mentors and our community and our training and our tools, you'll have a benefit, a heads up or way up on everyone else trying to figure this out all on their own. And I'm seeing Dan back. Welcome back, Dan.
Thanks, buddy. So yeah, I see Shub saying, how much money do I need to start this FBA business? So the cost of inventory and getting started really depends on the product you choose. Some products cost more than others to buy. Typically, bigger, heavier products are more expensive. Smaller, lighter products are cheaper. But we typically advise anywhere from sort of $2,500 to $5,000 to get going in this business. You can start for much less, and we have members that have done so. And that's more about sort of getting the most out of what you've got, and maybe you'll run out of stock and it might take you a bit longer, but typically $2,500 to $5,000 is realistic to get going. And then just understanding the more budget you have, the bigger the budget you have, the faster you can move, the more you can invest into sort of second and third inventory orders. But typically you can get started with the first inventory order anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000. And Mike, we'll maybe take a couple at a time. Georgia, is this a great investment for retirees? I actually have some friends that were already retired when they started this business and couldn't use a computer. And then now, since they're running businesses and brands on Amazon that are doing $80,000, $100,000 a month. So absolutely, depending on what your goals are in your retirement, if your goals are to sort of create more wealth for people around you, or you know what, you just want to create more passive income above and beyond what you'd already planned for your retirement, absolutely, this is a great business because you can focus on the one or two things and you've got lots of time to focus on creating that brand, finding suppliers, knowing that you don't have to do all the heavy lifting. Amazon's doing all the heavy lifting for you. They're storing the product, they're shipping it all. And you can have a lot of fun with it as well and really create that additional income to enjoy your retirement.
Awesome. And we've created a lot of retirees, as a matter of fact, just from seeing people sell their businesses lately. So from Ali, how many months does it generally take for an FBA business to become profitable? Of course, that's going to vary depending upon your inventory investment, the market you're in, lots of things. I know you're asking typically, but there's a lot of factors. I would say for profitability, the minimum is going to be 6 months realistically, because you need to find the product, source it, get it shipped in. And usually the way it works is that you're making money after your launch is over, but you want to put that money back into ordering more inventory right away. And it's about your second inventory order when you really start seeing the profits come in. And so we're just being realistic. We could tell you that you'll be making money in 30 days. That's not the case. It's going to take time and effort to get this going, which we'll be there walking you through it. But usually 6 months is the minimum. You want to put as much of that profitability as you can afford to back into ordering more inventory, because that's how you're going to grow and scale this business. And then usually after about 12 months or so, your business should be generating consistent income that you can then decide how much you want to take for yourself versus how much you want to keep putting back in the business for more inventory, or like I like to do and other people like to do, even launching more products.
So David's saying, please clarify your comment on no competing with the Amazon buy box. So David, yeah, I thought about actually including some slides on that. So when you buy on Amazon and you got the sort of add to cart and the buy now button on the right hand side, under that, typically on branded products, like if you look at Apple iPhone or Samsung or something like that, you're going to see sold by, and you might see like 15 sellers. And that the way Amazon works is if you're selling someone else's brand, you're all selling on the same product listing, and you're competing to win that buy box. So the buy box is where the add to cart button is and the buy now button is and the price is. That's known as the buy box, which means you're not getting 100% of those sales. You might win 10% of the sales. You might win 15% of the sales. You're definitely not winning 100% of the sales. So when you start with a private label brand, you own the brand, you own the listing, because you're the only one who's allowed to sell that brand, because you're the only one making that product, you get 100% of those sales. Now, when you sell another person's product or another brand's product and you're sort of fighting for that buy box, there are lots of factors that go into it, but the biggest factor is price. So what that does is it drives the price of that buy box down and reduces your profit and the money that you're putting in your pocket, because you're constantly fighting to win the sales. So we don't like being in that market. We like being in the market where we control the price, we control the buy box, we own 100% of the sales. And that's what it means to not compete with Amazon's buy box. You're not competing with other sellers on the product listing.
Awesome. From Maharaj. In private label, do you have to have a minimum amount of product, the number, the quantity, in order to get started with Amazon? So from Amazon's perspective, no, you could start with 1 unit if you wanted to. Now, that's not what we'd recommend. Our minimum is somewhere around 300 units is what you'd want to get in order to get going. That gives you at least a full month's worth of sales if you're making 10 sales a day. But realistically also, it's not about just having the bare minimum. You could do that. What we'd like is for you to have anywhere between 500 and 1,000 units, because what that's going to do is give you enough units to have a launch and start really getting some traction as well. So 300 is probably the minimum. More than likely, you'd want to try to have between 500 and 1,000 units in order to have a good, successful launch with the first product.
Awesome. So we got Raheem saying, how can someone be careful with a lot of fake e-commerce gurus on their courses? How can someone know if someone's real or not? I totally understand, Raheem. There are so many people on the internet teaching this some of them have never sold a product in their life, and others have had very little success. Amazing Selling Machine, it doesn't take you long when you search the internet to understand that Amazing Selling Machine created this industry. It was definitely the first course I knew to come out, who Matt Clark founded the company and tested this and made millions of dollars in the model. And if you just look at the success stories and look at who's involved with Amazing Selling Machine, it doesn't take long to see that. When looking at some of these other courses, you'll probably see reviews. You won't see much about them. You won't see many success stories. And that's really how you can start to get a feel for that. But just do your research, understand sort of this case studies and the success stories around it. Understand people like Richard Branson and Damon John from Shark Tank are supporting us in Amazing Selling Machine, because we're the guys that really created this, started this, and generated all the success. So that's kind of how you know. And really, you just have to do your due diligence and not get caught in one of those sort of marketing campaigns.
Awesome. Like I said, it all comes down to results, and no one can compete with our results. That's what we live for. And you know what? Our number one company priority this year in 2021 is getting members even better results. Just, that's what we focus on. If we can't do that, then there's no purpose for us being around. And so just, that's how dedicated we are. It made it our number one company priority, getting you better results this year. We always want to get better results every year. So I'll take 2 questions here, Dan, in a row. First one's quick. Ali asks, which is the best Amazon marketplace to sell for people living in the UK? Still Amazon.com in the US. That is the best place to start selling. After that, then I would start selling in the UK once you have built your business in the US. And then Maddie asks, do you have to print your brand name on the actual product or just on the packaging? Either one is fine. Usually, the packaging is much easier. So you can create your supplier should give you a template of what the packaging looks like. Then you could hire a designer or do it yourself or have them help you in order to put your logo onto the packaging. And then if the product is a product where you can have your logo on the packet, on the product itself, then you can put it on there as well. You don't have to. Like, for example, wine glasses. I don't know if I'd really want to have a logo on a wine glass, but you could sell wine glasses. You don't have to have a logo on there. But if it's something else like my Starbucks cup, probably want to have a logo on here. But yeah, it depends on the product, but you do not have to have it on the product.
Awesome. And I'm going to go a bit off topic. I just want to welcome Sylvia, Derek, Raphael to the community. Everyone says, I typed in the chat box, like, where are my action takers? And everyone jumps in and said, here, I'm here. So welcome, guys. Welcome to the community. Derek was saying, do I miss anything if I get in before 12 a.m. tonight? No, you don't, Derek. It will be taken down. You'll lose the $500 inventory bonus at 11:59 PST. I always get that day wrong. I've got to get better at that. I always get the day wrong because the time zone differences. But yeah, 11:59 PST this evening will be taking away that inventory bonus, which is for live attendees only. And we're very serious about that because we can't offer that to everyone. It's just not financially viable to give that to everyone. So if you're sat on the fence right now, guys, jump in. You've got that 30-day money back guarantee. Join the tribe, join the community, and let's get this business going. But welcome to our action takers. Welcome to Sylvia and the rest of the gang who have already jumped in. You are my people. So let's move forward. Just seeing where we are, make sure I don't duplicate what you asked. Hey, Ali, do you offer freight services for members? Inside of the resource vault, so for everyone that doesn't know what this is, a freight service is the company that ships your product from China to the United States. Typically, you're going to use a boat at the moment because air freight is quite expensive at the moment, but you can ship by air or you can ship by boat, by sea. So a freight forwarding company is the company that handles that for you. They pick the products up from your factory in China, they put it on the boat for you, they ship it over, it takes about 30 days, 21 days or so, and then they deal with all the customs stuff when it arrives in the US. So Ali, yes, absolutely. In the resource vault, we have a whole list of trusted freight forwarders that we've personally worked with, that our members of purchasing work with, and you have direct access to those contacts inside of the private resource vault that you get access to. And then Georgia is asking, once you have your product design, your brand getting your patent and buying inventory for about 50 cents, selling for $19.99, getting to a market and finding, would you do the groundwork in moving the product from store to store in other countries? So I'm just going to summarize that question. I think what you're saying is once you've launched a product, once you've gone through that process, is it worth expanding? The answer is yes, absolutely. So even though we advise starting in the US, once you've established yourself there, a very easy way of growing sales is taking the same products that you've already produced, you've already done all the design work and all the hard thinking and stuff around the product, and sell those same products in the UK, in Germany, in Italy, in Spain, in France, across Europe, in other marketplaces like Canada. Mexico's opened up. Here in Dubai, they've just opened up UAE now, which is growing in size. Japan is growing like crazy right now. So you can go ahead and take the same products and sell them in those different marketplaces for sure.
Awesome. Okay, so next question on here. Let's see. Sorry
anonymous
about this.
Attendee again. Yeah, there's a bunch of questions coming in. So anonymous attendee, is FBA still sending to the EU from the UK? Mike, do you want to say that one?
That's probably, well, you know what? So with the whole Brexit one, I've always been confused over when they decided they're going to send them or not. I think did they stop doing that now?
Yeah, so they're going through a transition. It's kind of like a transition phase at the moment. So yes, you can ship into the EU, but typically you have to hold stock there now. And you can, but what we would advise to start with, and this depends on which account you are and what level of seller you are. You're going to start in the UK anyway. And then if you want, because it's selling in Germany, you'd have to have you have to sort your packaging out, do foreign language, etc. So you start in the UK and then you can move some of that inventory from the UK into Europe. But it's interesting what's happening with Brexit now and how they're sort of managing that process. But yeah, they have started to sort of separate out that connection now. But it's just another thing that we navigate around. We figure out the process, and we continue to generate sales on the platform. We've got Enrique saying, and I haven't got the latest on this one, so my team handle this, but how much does Amazon charge for storage? Mike, have you got the latest on the storage fees?
Yeah, so they did recently increase them, but compared to all other, like there's no one price for storage. The way it works is it's all by their dimensional weight, kind of like how shipping takes place, how they charge for shipping products, but it's all on the size of it. What you want to try to do is have a product that is 18 inches max on one size, 12 max on another, and 8 inches max on another size as well. That way it keeps it as what's called not oversized. And you can actually like Google like oversized standard inventory. Keep it below that their oversized size. You should be fine. Amazon's fees will change by product, but the way that here's a general rule: whatever your sales price is for it, they're going to take 15% of that for the referral fee. That's just the cost of business on Amazon, and then about on average another 15% of that as well for their storage and their shipping fees. When I look at all of our products, which have different sizes, it usually averages out to be that way. 15% off the top for their fee, and then 50% for the storage and shipping fee. So about a third of the sales price is going to go towards Amazon. That may sound like a lot. That's not. It's awesome for what you're getting. The 200 million, monthly Prime customers on there, them storing, shipping, packing, taking care of returns, they do a ton in return for that. So take about 30% off. They're going to take that. Then you have another maybe 30% or so for your product cost. That leaves the rest for a margin. That right there, if that math works out after advertising, that's another 25, 30% for profit. So it may seem like those fees are a lot. Once you do all the math, it leaves a lot over for profit. And just as importantly, they take care of all the stuff that you do not want to be doing to make your life easy.
Absolutely. So Derek over in the chat box is asking, is there reoccurring fees with you guys? No, absolutely not, Derek. Once you join ASM, you make that payment. Once you've paid off your membership, you get access for life. And with that, you get free updates for life as well. So we keep talking about the fact that we've just launched our brand new version, ASM Evolution, with brand new tools, the latest training, everything that comes with it. You will benefit from that for the future of your account and for the lifetime of your account. So once you've joined ASM and made that payment, there are no reoccurring fees thereafter for the membership of ASM. I've got Almas asking which ranking strategies will you be teaching in the course. So Almas, we teach how to create sales velocity with things like cashback offers, leveraging advanced Amazon PPC. We will teach you even more advanced stuff using other traffic sources, but they're not part of the core launch, because everything I'm about when launching a product on Amazon is the simplest path of least resistance to achieve the result. There are a lot of fancy things you can do, but we've really boiled it down to 1 or 2 steps that work repeatable every single time. They consistently make the product show up on Amazon. And for me, the goal is to get that product to show up, not for us to beat our chest about how advanced we can take that and confuse the hell out of everyone. So we teach rebates, we teach getting reviews, we teach launching using PPC, we teach really good conversion tactics on the listing, and then combining all of that with really advanced keyword research. That's some of the most advanced training in there. The combination of that is a product that dominates the category and ranks on Amazon and generates sales.
Awesome. You know what, Dan, did you already talk about the Verve taco holders?
No, I didn't. No, I talked a little bit. I mentioned them. I mentioned them in the training.
Yeah. So I'll take this one because we're both involved in it. Dan does all the hard work. I just want to take some of the credit. So you'll notice that these are not live for sale right now because we ran out of the previous 2 orders that we did. So we now, if you go check them, there won't be any BSR around because we have held off launching them again. We have another 1,000 units ready to go. We have, I think, a couple hundred at Amazon. What we're going to do is we're going to do a case study showing you how we're going to relaunch these products, but we're holding off because we have to have it all lined up. It's not just like going and flipping a button. We want to have it all planned out. We want to record this so you guys get to see the exact process of what it's like, not only to launch a product like we did a year ago, but to relaunch a product after you've been out of inventory, like almost everyone runs out of. So that's, come back in maybe a month once we had a time to get it all planned out. And Tim, who asked the question, you should notice that the Verve taco holders will be for sale again. They sold like crazy, Dan. Like how long did it take before they sold out the first time?
Well, I remember because we were doing a live demonstration, so I really had to sort of flex my muscles a little bit. And I think we sold through them in about, was it 12, 17 days or something? Yeah,
As
it wasn't.
it was crazy, but it just goes to show the power of what this model can do. It wasn't like we picked some unicorn product out there, just picked a product that met the criteria that we teach, launched it using the different methods that we teach, and it took off. And I think one point I brought it down for a webinar. I actually had the taco holder with me. We use them here when we're making like homemade street tacos or something. They're a great product. So when they're back up live, check them out. You'll like them. They're a great product. Let's see. I already answered the one about inventory. What about the other sites? Ashal is asking, heard about other sites like 1688 and Alibaba. I still recommend Alibaba the most. I think they're the most respected and trusted out there. 1688 can be an alternate site. I don't know, Dan, do you use 1688 at all?
Yeah, it depends. 1688, like you can find some good stuff on there, but it's less verified. So Alibaba does a really good job in maintaining the quality of the index of their suppliers. So I've been to China 7, 8 times now. Previously, before COVID, used to take a lot of people to China and teach them the business. And when you speak to a sort of an established supplier about 1688, they kind of laugh because it's full of like middlemen and people just earning a quick buck by putting some margins on there. It's not that it's a bad platform at all. You have to translate it and navigate all that, but it's just not as verified as Alibaba in terms of the process that the companies go through to get on there. So you just have to be a bit more cautious with it, but you can definitely find some good suppliers on there. You just need to really do your research.
All right, one thing we're gonna do here, we're not done yet. We have a few more questions, but what I want to do is now ask the question that we're using for the $1,000 giveaway. This will not be the very first person to type it wins. So don't worry about that. We had someone answering questions an hour ago, anticipating what we'd be asking to try to win it. So that's not the case. So we're gonna, the question here is, all right, let me make sure, which of the 4 business models was the best one for generating wealth? Hopefully everyone who paid attention to the webinar. So I'm already seeing it over there. So go ahead, give us the answer. And then what we're going to do, Sonia, head of our customer success team in the background, we're going to give you an answer, like 1 more minute to type in your answer. So feel free to get there. She's going to go through, gather up all the names, and then pick a random name out of there. And one person will win the $1,000. So while you guys are all typing the exact same thing over there, I'm going to go ahead and answer another question.
I saw Tony joined and said action taker. I saw I think it was Fadia, and forgive me if I pronounced that wrong, but saying I'm definitely joining action taker. So I love this. Thank you for trusting us, and welcome to the family. And I can't wait for you to see that action taking turn into momentum and show up in success in your life and in your journey. So welcome, guys. Still seeing people typing action taker in the chat box, and it's everything that Mike and I live for. So yeah, very excited.
Awesome. Oh, we love it. You know, there's nothing, the favorite part of this webinar for me, this is not about me at all, but I just want to share this. When I got to show the picture with like 6, 7 different successful members, that is awesome, because I know each one of them personally. I've seen them from the very beginning up until they built this incredible business, and there's nothing more rewarding than that. So hopefully as many people as possible that are action takers come a year, 2 years from now, maybe your picture will be up there. That would be the best reward for any of us here. Fahira, I'm sorry if I got that wrong. Fahira asks, can I just start in one category, for example, beauty, or are you advised to sell what is selling the most across all categories? Yes, you definitely want to sell in one category. You don't have to pick that right now. We're going to give you a list of all the categories that we feel are the best to get going in. And there's some of the most common ones out there: home and kitchen, garden and outdoors, sports and outdoors, automotive. Well, that one might be a little tricky to get into, but we give you a whole list of all the categories. So don't worry about that. We'll tell you which ones. And as long as you stick with those categories for your first product, you will be fine. And then later on, we tell you that you don't have to worry about the category as much. There are some categories that are called gated categories. And all that means is there's a little bit of an extra hurdle to get selling in them. So as a new beginning seller, we don't want you to have any hurdles. We want you just to focus on getting in, these 12 to 15 categories we know are easy to going in. Start there. After you build your brand, then you can expand to any category that you want. But definitely pick one product in one category. You'll see it all in the training and stick there. And then in another 6-9 months, you should be ready to launch your second product.
Awesome. So I'm just going to come down here and make sure I haven't duplicated. Okay, we got Georgia saying, will you all be holding another e-commerce class in the future? Yes, Georgia, we'll definitely have stuff on in the future. We do live trainings and we bring this sort of stuff to you. But if you're serious about taking that leap and sort of starting this business, there's no better time than right now, to be honest. And we can't commit to the 21 success bonus. We can't commit to the 500 free inventory. We can't commit to the $1,000 off. So if you have any inkling, jump in today, get started for that 997 just to get started here today, and know that you've got that 30 days to go through all the training, join the community, test everything out, knowing that's completely risk-free. But yeah, absolutely, we're always doing trainings. Now, the Q&A box is now full of the word Amazon FBA, so I'm going to try and navigate through and see any other questions here.
I see one about bookkeeping. This is from Kay Marshall. Do we teach the basics of bookkeeping? No, we do not. How's that for an answer? I'd love to say yes and tell y'all we teach all that. We don't. We stay away from bookkeeping because it's something that other people teach much better than we do. We focus on finding products, finding suppliers, building the best listing possible, launching your product, expanding your brand. Bookkeeping, you can go out there and find any one of a dozen, if not more, companies who can do that for you. So no, we don't teach bookkeeping, but it's pretty simple to go out there and find someone to do that for you or to teach you how to do that.
So Valerie's saying, how much time does it take to start seeing results? Now, Valerie, that really depends on how quickly you move. Let's say you joined ASM here today, and let's say in the next week or two, you got through the first bits of training and you started researching the product. Now, when researching products, you use our Zoof Products Opportunity Tool, use the amazing category guide, you find a product very quickly that meets criteria, that has that competition sort of level, that has the profit base. And then you go on Alibaba and you start sourcing, and within a month, you're already at a point of speaking to suppliers, getting a sample and placing your order. It's then going to take around another 30 days or so to ship that product in. So we're kind of into sort of 2 months at this point. And by the third month, you can actually be launching this product. Now, launching the product might take a couple of weeks, up to 30 days, depending on the competition level and what the product is. So by the end of that sort of first 3-month period, you've done all the hard work, you're launching this product. Then you're going into your second inventory order. So anywhere from 3 to 6 months, you will start to see a return on this business. There are success stories in our community of members quitting their jobs within 6 months after launching this business. Now, one thing I didn't have time to go through is if you're another way of getting started faster in this business, and this really answers another question I saw, is anything that goes on or in your body, so beauty creams, supplements, animal food, that sort of stuff, you can source locally in the US. And the great thing about doing that is, yes, there is still margin in it if you find the right supplier. And all you need to do is go to Google and search beauty cream private label, and you'll find loads of manufacturers that will do that for you. But just think, you're not dealing with the timeline of China. So you can actually ship a product from that warehouse that's already in the US into Amazon within 7 days or so. And typically they have the products already made, and you can be selling within a matter of weeks. So the success timeline really depends on which path you take and how quickly you move. Some of our members that really just don't overthink this process, follow the training, make decisions, don't hesitate, take action and push forward, can start to see success in a matter of months. That's the
awesome. Brilliant. And I'm not seeing a lot more different questions anymore other than the answers. We'd like to do one more thing before we're done here. We can take another couple questions as well. But if you're still on the call, we have hundreds of people still watching the webinar, going through the training, asking questions. If you're still here and you have not yet joined Amazing Selling Machine, we want to find out why. That helps us. Maybe we can answer whatever question you might have. If there's something just kind of really holding you back, we call this a deal breaker. Like, what is your deal breaker? We'd like you in the Q&A box, type the word deal breaker, And then let us know, what is your deal breaker? What's holding you back? Is it money? Is it time? Is it your fear? Is it something personal going on that, just don't want to tell us what it is? You have something going on in your life that's taking your time. Let us know what the deal breaker is, and then we'll try to address it while we can, while we do a few more Q&A before we are done here. Now, while we wait for those to come in, I wanted to mention something in here. You already answered that one, actually. We already answered the profit margins. Let's see. Trying to think about who it is. The deal breaker would like to see a 12-month pricing plan from James. We don't currently have that right now. So as you can see, we have the single pay, the double pay in here, and also the 5-month pay. We have from time to time run a 12-month payment plan. So if you cannot afford to join right now because you need a payment plan, you could either wait and see if we come up with one of those. I'm sure that before the end of the year, we'll do that. But if you want to try to get something sooner, contact support at amazing.com, James. Anyone who's holding off or waiting for a 12-month plan, contact support and let's see if we can work out something. I don't run the support team. I can't guarantee we can do that, but reach out to them and let them know that if a 12-month plan is available, that you would want that. And then they'll either figure it out if we can make one available, or email you once we do make that different type of program available. Again, as a company, we just can't offer to make all different kind of financing options available at all times. So that's why we don't have it right now. Any other deal breakers there, Dan?
We got questions around contacting support, guys. It's support@amazing.com. I've just put that in the chat box for you. It's mainly just accessing funds. We have one, Scott saying, Scott, maybe you want to take this one. Mike, maybe you want to take this one. Scott being sort of skeptical, definitely looked at this previously with different coaching programs. Unfortunately, they overpromised and delivered, and he doesn't still yet have an active product or brand. What's your response to that, Mike?
Well, the thing is, we have the 30-day money back guarantee. So if you really are skeptical, try it out. We have never in the history of a company not fulfilled our 30-day money back guarantee. So if we weren't doing that, if we weren't offering that money back guarantee and delivering on it, we wouldn't be in business. We'd be shut down. That is a legit offer. Try it out. If it's not for you, on day 29, go and refund. That is no problem at all. We'll be happy because at least you gave it a shot. Now, on that same note, if you get to day 30, let's talk like realistically, you won't have a product launch by day 30. So if you get to that point, you've seen half the training, you know what we're about, what the support's about, the tools are about, what the training's about, and you still aren't sure if you want to refund, quit, or give it a shot. That's why we have the success promise as well. You can take advantage of that. What you'll be able to do then is still, as long as you keep going and launch your product following the training, then by the end of the year, if you're still not happy, then we have to fulfill our success promise to you, where we refund you and then also pay you back for any unsold inventory. We put as much of the risk on us as possible because we want as many people as possible to be successful. And so you can take advantage of both of those. Remember, 30-day, no questions asked, money back guarantee. You can take that advantage of that anytime you want in the first 30 days. And then the ASM 2021 success promise. If you still want to go beyond that and try it out, then all you need to make sure is follow the simple steps in the training. We have that for you all laid out in there, so you know that you would be eligible for that. It really couldn't be. I don't know of any other type of business you could start that comes with as many risk aversion guarantees that we can make out there. That's why we do it. We've had to fulfill on those. Every year we give people money back for their course, and we pay them back for their inventory because they realize, you know what? It wasn't for me. And this may not be for everyone. I love it. A lot of people love it. Thousands of people love it. But it may not be for you, but that's why we want you to give it a shot. You'll never know if you don't try it out.
Yeah, awesome. So Richard's saying, I need to talk to my wife about this opportunity. I'd like her to see this presentation before committing. So Richard, that's absolutely fine. Within a few hours, maybe by the end of the day, tomorrow morning, a replay will be emailed out and you can go ahead and watch that with your wife. Just understand that after midnight today, you won't get access to the $500 inventory bonus, which is $500 free towards your inventory to help you cover the cost of your first inventory. But you've got until April 26th on 11:59 PST to access everything else. So the $1,000 off, the 2021 success bonus, the money back guarantee, all of that is included through to April 26th, but you will miss out on the inventory, the $500. So my advice there, Richard, is even if you're considering this, I'm big into decision making, 40% being better than being enough to make a decision, 70% being done. I'd go ahead and join because you've got that refund guarantee. And if for whatever reason your wife doesn't agree, or your spouse or your business partner or someone that you intend to do this with, then that's fine. You've got access to go ahead and refund the payment and reverse that charge. So to go ahead and get that $500, join ASM, speak to your spouse, speak to your business partners, and then should you need to back out of it, you can, because you've got a full 30 days to do so. So really all you're doing is securing your spot today, trialing, and then you've got that full 30 days to make that decision on whether you continue or not.
And Scott asked a follow-up because I didn't fully answer the other part of his question as well. He did mention that other people do. He wants to potentially get more than one product reviewed. So right now, the way we have this product evaluation, it is for one product because we have to pay people to do that. It's not like, we're just, people are volunteering to do this for free. We are literally paying sellers who are successful sellers on Amazon to review everyone's final product that they have chosen to give you feedback on it. With the new product selection training, the tools that put in there, you will know whether it meets our criteria, but we're doing this extra step to make sure you really have this validation from us, like, yes, you followed the training, you found a good opportunity that meets the requirements, or it doesn't. We tell you that as well. Now, one thing I will tell you as well, we say we do this for one. If we say that your product doesn't meet the criteria and you go back, we would actually review your next one for you as well. We don't have that written out there because we don't want to get into how many we'll do. But if it fails the first one, we'd review that second one for you too, just to make sure that you found it on the second try. But again, we're all for being upfront. We can't just go out there and review every single product that people submit to us because we don't have enough people. We literally don't have enough sellers out there that we could pay with their time to do this because it's a time-consuming process. It takes a while to go out there and revalidate everything that you did, but we want to do that for you, at least for one product, up to two, if that first one doesn't meet our criteria.
Awesome. So I think we've pretty much, we've definitely getting the same sort of questions coming through. One final one there from Elizabeth. What if I want to sell a product that is over £5? What are the risks and how much more would I need to invest? It's not so much the risk, Elizabeth. Once you start getting to heavier and bigger products, it's just more expensive. So your freight is more expensive. So if you're shipping by sea, it's going to be more expensive. And with Amazon, once they have sizing tiers. So once you get to a certain size of products and dimensions and that factor into that, they charge you more, obviously, because it's more expensive to ship and store. It takes up more space in their warehouse. So we advise sort of starting small because you're in that smallest tier within Amazon, which is the smallest fee base, meaning there's more margin to be made and it's less investment up front for your first product to just really get sort of your feet wet, so to speak, and get going in this business before you start taking on more and more risk through bigger products, heavier products, etc. So really it's just a case of staying small, keeping the costs light, and really understanding the business with that first product.
Yeah, and think about it. In the tools that we have in here, it's going to show you a really good estimate of what those fees are going to be by the size. So you'll see pretty quickly, if you choose a product that's going to be like 10 pounds or really large, you'll be able to visually see what that does to your costs using the opportunity analyzer and the profit estimator in there, because it takes into account the size of the product, the weight of it. It'll show you the increased costs that Amazon's going to charge you. It'll even show you an estimated increased costs that your freight forwarder would charge you. So we have it all in there that it'll give you a really good idea as to what those increased sizes that Dan's talking about could cost you. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the offer we have today because we have a couple questions on it. So some people are asking, with the payment plan, the 5 payments instead of 6, are they also getting $1,000 off? The answer is yes. So normally our single payment is $49.97, but if you pay all up front, we're knocking off $1,000 today, making it $39.97. On our multi-pay option, that is normally 6 payments of $997, which is just under $6,000. Our multi-payments always cost more. So what we're doing this time is knocking off one of those payments. So instead of 6 payments of $997, it is 5 payments of $997. It is more to use the payment option out there. It's just kind of a standard thing that every company has to do because there's a cost of funding that for people. And so we factor that into the price of it. So yes, it does cost more to use the payment plan, but we are still knocking off one of those payments, which is $997 off, not exactly $1,000 off. We're keeping those $3 extra. But it makes it a lot easier to say knocking off one payment. So hopefully that explains it for everyone else looking at the details there. But that is it. We will be going away shortly here. The extra $500 for inventory is really going away as well. If you need to talk to someone, be sure to talk to them. But if you don't want to buy on this webinar, you can go ahead and shoot us a message at support. Let us know you're on the webinar. Let us know you need to talk to a wife or a spouse, significant other, whatever. And we'll make sure we can kind of, hold your spot there for as long as we can.
Absolutely. So I don't think we have too many more questions, Mike, here that we haven't already covered. Do you see anything that is jumping out at you?
No, we've already covered all the main ones. The ones I'm seeing are mostly the same ones again. So I think I'll tell you what then, Dan, I'll wrap up here and then let you kind of do the closing because I don't see anything new.
Let's do it.
All right. So first off, for me, I'm going to thank Dan for being on here, giving such awesome free content and training. Everyone else out there thinks the same thing as well. So Dan, thank you. But most importantly, I want to thank everyone for joining us today on this webinar, for sticking around. Here we are, two plus hours into this. You're still here asking great questions. And for those who are able to join, welcome aboard, hop into the training right away. We can't wait to see you in there. For those of you who are not able to join, that's okay. This isn't the right thing right now for everyone. We get that. It's not cheap. It's an investment in you and your future. So it's okay if you can't join right now. Join us for more free training. And then hopefully at some point in the future, when you're ready and able, we can see you inside of Amazing Selling Machine. And then hopefully see you be one of our next success stories that we're sharing on future training plans like this. So for me, Mike McClary, thank you very much. And I'll let Dan sign off.
Thanks, Mike. And guys, before we finish, I want you to do one more thing for me. In the chat box, just tell me your biggest takeaway from today. So from the last couple of hours that we've spent together, what was the most impactful takeaway or the biggest piece of feedback that you got from sitting and sort of understanding this and learning about this amazing business model that we can generate on Amazon? What was that biggest takeaway that you had? And what was the impacts for you in your current life, in your current situation? How's that going to make you think differently about where you're heading? Please drop that in the chat box. I'd love to see that feedback before we finish up. So we've got Michael saying freedom is near. Mandy saying confidence that anyone can do it. Miriam said she thought she was too young to make this money. Absolutely not. Danielle saying confidence and positivity. Recommendation of Amazon FBA. And the most impactful takeaway from Kim was that this business model would give me the financial and location freedom to be with my family and eventually retire and enjoy life. Absolutely, Kim. That's what it's about. So from me, Dan Ashburn, thank you for spending this last couple of hours with us, taking the time out of your day, showing up. And as Mike says, if you can't join right now, that's totally okay. Come back on one of our trainings. For those of you that are my action takers, I can't wait to see you in the community, see you on your journey, generating your success and working towards goals. But Mike, thank you very much. And thank you to everyone in the background, Sonia, Rich, and everyone who makes this happen and really brings the amazing family together. But for now, have a great day and we'll see you very soon.
Hey there, so we've had over 40,000 people register for the live training sessions teaching people about this massive opportunity. We've received thousands of questions from attendees. I've picked out the most common ones to answer for you here in this video because I'm sure you have the same questions too. $26.1 trillion in global retail sales are coming online now. This has created the greatest opportunity to build wealth in the last 20 years. To make sure you don't miss this opportunity, here are some of the most common questions that we've received. So the first question is, how much money do I need to invest in my business to get started? This is a great question. So when we've surveyed our members, we found that on average, they invested about $1,200 in inventory. And when we say $1,200 in inventory, we mean the cost of the products themselves, the cost of packaging, the cost of shipping, including freight forwarding, basically everything it costs to get the products live and available for sale on Amazon. We typically like to recommend people have about $2,000. So a little bit more than that gives you more options. We've had people that have started with as little as $500 in inventory, and we've had people that have spent $5,000 or more. I wouldn't recommend, even if you have plenty of money, spending more than $5,000 in inventory. So around $2,000 is about right. You can spend a little bit more if you want, a little bit less if you want. All that matters is that you get started and you ideally have about 300 units to get started. And you don't really need much else because your logo is going to cost next to nothing. The manufacturer should do your packaging design. And the only other thing is some ads. But your ads on Amazon, if you're running them the way that we teach, they should be profitable. And so you're not really spending extra money because you're spending some money on ads, but those are actually producing sales directly. So they're kind of funding themselves. The next question. How much time is it going to take? How much time will I have to spend per day as part of this? And then how long is it going to take before I start making some money? So we typically recommend people have literally just an hour or two a day because there's some waiting in here. Once you learn how to do the business in terms of, picking a product, then you've got to wait to get samples. So you've got a little bit of delay there. Then you order inventory, you've got to wait to get inventory. So it's not like you're going to spend 10 hours a day doing this, beating down doors, trying to make sales. An hour or two a day is plenty, and you can kind of spend that how you want. During weekdays, only on weekends, some days 0 hours, some days, more time. But as long as you have an average about an hour or two a day, that's perfect. Now, how long is it going to take before you actually start making money and start getting inventory live and that kind of thing? So in most cases, it'll take about 2.5 months to get your first product live. The reason is because you've got to pick the first product and then you've got to order inventory. And a lot of times it'll take about a month to get that inventory produced. And then it'll take about 5 weeks to get shipped by sea. Now, if you can get a lighter and smaller product that can be shipped by air, then that can save you a whole month of time. But take it about 2.5, 3 months to get your first product live. And at that point, your inventory should hopefully start turning over and be profitable. If nothing else, after a few weeks, you should hopefully, if you do the launch process right, like we teach, you should sell out of your inventory and be able to turn that profit into ordering more inventory, then really start making money on your second batch of inventory. Next question, isn't there too much competition on Amazon? The best example I can give, honestly, is a couple students of ours, David and Leah Cups. They built their first business within a few years, sold it for $4 million. What did they do? They immediately started building more businesses following the exact same model that we teach. Now they have 2 of those businesses under contract to be sold, also for millions of dollars. Shows you this is a very repeatable business model. The thing is, especially with 2020, with coronavirus and everything else, demand has shot up like crazy and the supply hasn't picked up. So right now is an incredible time where there's a lot more demand than there is supply to go out there and sell products. Other thing is too, there's a couple billion product listings on Amazon, so there's plenty of different products that you can go out there and sell, which is why people are doing very well getting started from scratch, building their businesses today. That's why we don't believe at all there's too much competition. Next question, what about drop shipping? A lot of times if you hunt around on YouTube and stuff, you'll hear people talk about drop shipping, which is actually how I started, which was my first business. And what that actually means is you'll have a manufacturer that owns a brand, and if you get an order on your website or on Amazon, you take that order, you send the name and shipping address to the manufacturer, and they'll ship directly to the customer. So you don't have to buy any inventory ahead of time, which makes it sound awesome. The problem is you don't own the brand, and you're selling the exact same brand as other people, which means you're just competing on price. And so you're not building a valuable asset, and your margins are terrible, which is why we do not recommend drop shipping. And creating your own brand is just so easy today, which is why we recommend you absolutely own the brand that you're selling. Next question, should I still sell on Amazon.com in the US if I'm from anywhere outside the US? The answer is absolutely yes. We've gone back and forth based on how things have changed in the market, but today, no matter where you're at in the world, we recommend you sell on Amazon.com in the US. Even if you're in the UK, for example, where Amazon UK is a big, massive platform with billions of dollars in sales, still the level of sales volume in the US just dwarfs everywhere else in the world. So even if you're from outside the US, we recommend you sell on Amazon.com in the US, which you can do from basically no matter where you're at in the world. What if I don't want to source products from China? A lot of people, especially now, are kind of concerned about that. The good thing is you don't have to. A lot of products we sell, a lot of products we buy come from China. It's just the fact. They're the biggest manufacturing hub in the world. But if you absolutely don't want to sell products from China, you don't have to. You can sell products made in the US. A lot of beauty products, a lot of health products, cleaning products, all those kind of things typically come from the US. You can also sell food-related products, which may come from all over the world, South America, Central America, places like that. You can also sell some other products that are typically manufactured in China, but you can find good manufacturers in places like Taiwan, Pakistan, Vietnam, and other places in the world. So if you don't want to sell products from China, you don't have to do this business. All right, so we also, on the live training we did, we revealed that right now, we've created a brand new version of our program called Amazing Selling Machine, which this one is ASM 12, that is all completely new. So we've received a lot of questions about that. So one of the first questions we get is, what do I get with ASM 12? Well, I'm going to show you everything here on the screen, but you can also click the button below to get access to all the details so you can see everything. But as an overview, you get online training, you get access to our team of experts, which we call the ASM mentors, you get community access, which is a private community only for ASM members, you get a collection of resources that is only available for ASM members, and for the first time ever, we have 4 brand new powerful software tools that are only available for ASM members inside of ASM 12. And one of the things we're super excited with is we're also including what we call the Fast Track to Freedom, which is essentially our personal coaching package to make sure that you succeed with ASM. There's a ton of stuff you get 2 guarantees, but you can get all the details when you click the button below after watching this video. Next question, how much does it cost? You know, I've done some research, and according to a website called Biz Buy Sell, the average cost to buy an existing business is $150,000 to $200,000. When we think about ASM, it's not a training program. It's almost like you're buying an existing business. You just have to fill in the blanks. You decide what product you sell, you do the marketing steps that we teach you. Other than that, it's almost like you're buying an existing business. But it doesn't cost 200 grand like buying an existing business. You can actually get access to everything with ASM 12 for just $997 a month times 6 payments. And after 6 payments, you're in for life. So that's all that it costs to get access to this, and you get free updates, there's no hidden charges, none of that kind of stuff, and you can even save about $1,000 if you decide to pay your full investment up front. Once again, you can click the button below after you watch this video to get all those details. Another big question we get is, what happens if it doesn't work? What if I build all my business with ASM and I'm not successful? Well, you're covered in 2 different ways. First, for the first 30 days, we have an unconditional 30-day money-back guarantee. When you sign up today, for the next 30 days, you can try everything out in ASM, and if you're not happy with it, you literally don't have to do anything. Just contact us, support@amazing.com, email our team, and we'll give you a 100% refund. It's that simple. But you might also be thinking, I can't really build my whole business in 30 days, so what happens if I join, I do all the steps, I build my business, and my business doesn't succeed? We're covering you for that too. We call this the 2020 Success Agreement. All the way until the end of 2020, December 31st, 2020, we're giving you the ability to try everything out in ASM, the full entire program, and as long as you meet a few simple milestones like getting your product live in 4 months, doing the marketing steps within 5 months, just to show you've given this a try, if you decide you want out of ASM, we'll still give you a 100% refund in ASM all the way until the end of the year. But that's not all. We'll also even buy back up to $5,000 in unsold inventory to cover your risk in buying inventory also. So that's how you're completely covered if, on the unlikely chance, ASM doesn't work out for you. Next thing is what other costs are there included other than ASM? The main thing is in your inventory. Most people, when we've surveyed members, have spent about $1,200 in inventory. That includes, like we talked about earlier, your packaging, your actual hard inventory costs, your shipping, including freight forwarding, everything that it costs to get your inventory live on Amazon. That's the main cost. We've asked people before, they said they spent about $1,200. On average, we recommend people have more around $2,000 for inventory to give yourself some more flexibility. The only other costs really are maybe a little bit for marketing, but your ads on Amazon should typically be paying for themselves. On Facebook, you may spend $50 in ads or something just to launch your product. Other than that, we try to make everything included in ASM other than the cost of your inventory. Another big question we get is, what's the difference between ASM and some other program? Ever since we've been doing ASM, because we kind of pioneered this space, ever since we started doing this 8 years ago, as soon as we tell people about a new version, all of a sudden the Facebook ads fire up. People start sending emails about their new version of some course that teaches you stuff about Amazon. We've seen this, we've been in here for 8 years, we know what's out there. The thing is we're not going to speak bad about some of these other people. It's not right for us. It's just not how we like to do business. All I can tell you is how we differentiate ourselves, which is in a few ways. One is we always make sure the training is up to date. We create a completely new version every year, and we also update it throughout the year so it's never out of date. Second, it's not a one-man or one-woman show. We have an entire team behind ASM. Myself, we've got Mike McClary, we've got Dan, we've got Rich. That's kind of the core trainers inside of ASM. We've also got a team of 21 Amazon experts we call the ASM mentors. We're tapped into the world's biggest and most successful community for Amazon sellers, which is our member base. And so we have access to so many people and so much information that most people don't. That's a big difference. Also, the mentors are a huge advantage for us. So you know you can get help, direct help from people that have actually done this business. You're not sitting there hoping somebody on a support team responds to you someday with information that may or may not be correct. We also focus on helping you build a long-term successful business. The last thing you want to do is do a bunch of work, spend a bunch of money to start a business, then get your Amazon Seller Central account suspended, or have unhappy customers because they're not happy with the quality of your product. Our focus has always been very long-term, helping you build a business that you can either sell for a lot of money down the road, pass down to your kids, something like that. Not a short-term thing that's gonna, leave a lot of unhappy people and you with no money at the end. Next question, how will I be able to interact with the mentors? So inside the private community, you can post a question and a mentor will respond to you within 24 hours or less. We basically have mentors in there working around the clock 24/7. So you post in the community and you'll get a direct one-on-one response from the mentors inside of there. Next question, if you're so successful, why do you share everything in ASM? So I own an e-commerce business that me and a business partner have been able to scale from about 17 grand a month to about $1.4 million a month in about the past year. And so I don't need to do amazing. I have other stuff going on, but I love to do this because it allows us to help a lot of people. Also, I'm not super concerned about it affecting my business because the most effective way to build a physical products brand is to do that. Focus on one brand at a time. If you start spreading yourselves into multiple brands, it ends up not being a very effective use of your time. So with only 4 of us primarily teaching ASM, that's only 4 brands, but there are millions of different opportunities. So it doesn't really hurt us at all to share this information, allows us to help a lot more people, and we actually end up learning and getting smarter from the members themselves. So that's why we share all this stuff. Last question, if you really want to help people, why not give ASM away for free? That's a good question. So a lot of people probably wonder this. The thing is, we found out the hard way before is that we can't just give a bunch of low-level videos and information and hope people go out there and change their lives by building successful multi-million-dollar businesses. We have to give every resource we possibly can because we want to help people that don't necessarily have a lot of experience or a lot of resources. And so the reason we're able to do that and create such a massive impact for people is because we're able to throw literally everything at them. We spend about $2 million a year just to maintain and update ASM, which is why we charge an investment for people to get inside of ASM. Otherwise, we would go broke trying to support this thing. For us, this model makes sense. It may not be for everybody. Not everybody's going to be able to join, but for the people who do join, we're able to give them all of our attention and give them an unfair advantage versus everybody else doing this exact kind of business. So you might be wondering at this point, why now? Why out of all the times in the world should I start this business now? Should I join ASM now? There's a few reasons. First of all, right now, in this month and about halfway through the year, you're in a perfect time to take advantage of starting this business now and then reaping the rewards when the holiday season hits. When the last quarter of the year, there's about 30% more sales in that period of the year than any other time. So you're able to tap into Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas season, New Year's. And so by the time you get your inventory live, you'll be getting it live at the most profitable time of the year. That's a big reason. Also, everything we're including with ASM, the fast track to freedom, which you can get all the details if you click the button below, is only included with ASM 12. And the registration closes for ASM 12 on Monday, June 22nd at 11:59 p.m. Pacific. So that's all going away if you wait to sign up. Also, last thing is, you may be more motivated now than you may ever be. And if you don't take action today, there's a good chance you're going to let doubt and fear and everything else creep in. Family members who've never built a business, have never been successful, are telling you you're making a bad decision, all that sort of stuff. So if you wait, you may miss out on the opportunity to achieve a lifetime of financial freedom. And the cool thing is you have zero risk to give it a try. We have the 30-day guarantee, the 2020 success agreement. All this stuff is not going to be available for long, which is why we absolutely think you should give this a try starting today. Now that you know the answers to the most critical questions people have asked us, click the button below this video to get all the details of what's included with a new ASM 12. There's a massive opportunity sitting under our feet right now. ASM 12 is built for this new world. It's time you achieve your financial freedom and never have to depend on someone else for your financial security. Join us inside ASM before registration closes and before it's too late. Click the button below to get all the details, then grab your spot in ASM. I can't wait to see you inside.